Well, what I will do is do a recap for our new player, and then we'll get started. See if Lork wakes up. He probably fell asleep, and we'll go from there. Uh, so last session, the company had left Davokar, and they were traveling towards Thistle Hold to reconnect with probably Mayor Nightpitch and some of the others they know, um, Mother Mahira, and find out if any information about the whereabouts of where the Copper Crown came from, so they could recover the Copper Crown from Mayor Nightpitch and take it back there to put it to rest, so that the spirit of Hurrian Lo Apac was put to rest and could not leave the crown itself. They traveled on a path towards Thistle Hold along the edge of the forest and came on some peculiar things: an overturned cart with dead chickens and a mule and boots standing up with a little bit of blood in them. And then further on, they found a whole set of clothes just laid out on the path as if someone was in them, but there was no one in them. And then they eventually came to the tower itself. Had to break in there because it was barred, and they heard some screaming from the inside, and they found what at first they were told. Granta told them that he was a guardsman and that he had a prisoner. Now, what ended up happening, they found out that Granta was not a guardsman. He was a stable hand, and he had caught this other person, Guy Hadid, snooping around, and then, trust him up because he's been so afraid lately. Now he's been afraid because the guardsmen, the real guardsmen, and two gray guards, who are always there, had gone into the forest. They had been lost, and they had gone into the forest, and he heard screaming and terribleness, and they never came back. So the company freed Guy Hadid and decided to wait till morning. In the middle of the night, Bo and Guy Hadid was on watch when they heard knocking and scritching and someone trying to come through the broken door, which they had barricaded with at 2-level bunk beds. Bo pulled out the bunk beds and they go rushing out and they didn't find anything. So Bo and Guy Hadid decided to make a circuit of the compound grounds while Leeromei stood at the front door keeping guard because Degoi and Lena were asleep. While they were out there, Bo saw the winter wife who Bo and Leeromei had met previously in this broken down ancient crypt temple and had to flee or had to leave, which she had asked them to free her heart so she could be free of the place and they couldn't do it, and so they left for their own lives. He sees the winter witch and initially is going to go out to her in the forest, and then Guy Hadid said, hey, this isn't quite a great idea. So Bo agreed and came back over, and the winter witch kind of faded away. At the same time that Bo had seen the winter wife, Leeromei also saw her right out in front, and she beckoned him forward, but he wouldn't come out, and the winter wife asked him if he would be her champion, which he refused. At this point, he screamed out that evil and danger is about, waking both Degoi and Lena, and Bo and Guy Hadid came running around the other perimeter. Neither Bo, Guy Hadid, or Degoi and Lena could see the winter wife, only Leeromei. And so what happened was this event occurred where only Leeromei could see the winter wife, and the winter wife and everyone else, he's trying to attack this figment of his imagination, or that's what everyone else sees. And then she eventually takes control of Bo, and Bo is convinced he must be her champion, and he attacks Leeromei. So the party and the company have this attacks amongst themselves. Lena eventually sees the Winter Wife and tries to put 2 arrows in her, and they just go through her incorporeal form. And eventually what happens is Bo breaks free of that hold that the Winter Wife has on him, and she kind of laughs and smiles and fades away. The next morning, the company decide, after much thought, that going into the forest to try to find this Winter Wife, whom they couldn't affect at all and who had taken control of at least one of them, was probably not the best idea. So they decided to continue on to Thistle Hold without going into the forest to find the guardsmen or the gray men or deal with what's at this broken down temple. They arrived at Thistle Hold. Degoi and Lena had tried to find some information about the Winter Wife, and they went to the Queen's legate, which has collated information from other treasure hunters that have gone into Davokar as a way to get information and data for the Queen. But unfortunately, they are both coin poor and didn't have money to pay the fee to look at or search those records. So Degoi and Lena decide to go to a tavern, kind of middle class, low middle class, and acquire coin by thievery. At the same time, Bo and Guy Hadid go to Mother Mihira first, and Guy Hadid and Bo find out information that a particular Ordo magician is quietly eliciting men to go and check on a expedition, which is to the place where the Copper Crown. They have information where the Copper Crown came from because of other reasons, and they're quietly trying to send men out to figure out what happened to this expedition because they've lost contact with them unexpectedly. And so they meet a Ordo magician called Miralei, and he enlists them to go out and figure out what's happened to this expedition, which is up along the Malgomar, and to meet him the following morning, and he will give them the map and the licenses to do so, and he would pay Bo and Guy Hadid 50 thaler apiece. At the same time, Leeromei had gone, and to soothe his soul, had gone to the mission and talked to Father Savarolo and did kitchen work and cleanup work and setting up for afternoon meal or lunch, and downtime for him to find his spirit again before he decided to leave Father Sarvalo's missionary right as lunch is starting to go towards Mayor Nightpitch. Check in with Mayor Nightpitch and the Copper Crown, and whether Mayor Nightpitch has any more information. At the same time, Degoi and Lena unfortunately fail in their pickpocket, or Degoi does, miserably, and he is surrounded by angry gamblers because they try to pickpocket a man watching a gambling table, and then Degoi falls into the gambling table and thaler go everywhere, and it's a terrible event, and he gets surrounded. Lena decides to scoop up the coin as this fight is going to break out where daggers are pulled, and all these gamblers are all of a sudden in an uproar, and in the middle of that is Degoi. And that's where we ended it. Anyone have any additions? No?
Nothing from me.
Okay. So what we'll do is we will start in a particular spot because we have people in trouble, most definitely. And we will go to Degoi and Lena. Degoi and Lena, are you there?
Yep, still here.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in the tavern. You're in Sartorio's tavern in Thistle Hold. And I should pull up the map for Thistle Hold so We have those. You're in the tavern at Thistle Hold, called Sartorio's, and you've just tried to steal, really, and had a terrible failure. Degoi has crashed into this gambling table and spread Thaler all over the place. Lena scoops up some Thaler and heads for the door. And Lena, you're outside this, right at the threshold of the door. You're kind of standing with a bunch of Thaler in your hand, up into your shirt maybe, because you scooped it up and ran, and you're at the edge of the threshold, and there's a man outside blowing a whistle, shrill whistle, which will call the town guard, and you look over your shoulder and you see Degoi in the middle of this room, surrounded by men as you're at the kind of top of those steps, and a man is outside blowing the whistle for the town guard. What would you do in this situation where you have a whole pocket full of Thaler? You got what you need to, but darn it, Degoi is stuck down there in that tavern all by himself. No violence has broken out yet. He's just surrounded by lots of men. Daggers are pulled, long daggers, short daggers. There's a beefy man with a club, that you can barely see past Degoi. He's in a smattering of broken tables. There's grumbles and yells and anger between gamblers, and also directed at Degoi. And you're kind of at the steps on the threshold to leave. Man outside blowing a whistle. What does Lena do?
She's probably like, peace out.
Lena will take some money and run.
Okay. You're going to leave Degoi there on his own. Sorry about that.
Is there a way to help him escape?
Cold-hearted.
Yeah. Cold-hearted.
I expect nothing less.
So, Lena, you dip out then. Leave Degoi to his fate. And we're just kind of have you fade from view. Do you do anything else as you leave the tavern? Can you all see the tavern?
Yes, I
can.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a little trouble selecting. So I'm going to fade Lena out because she's pretty wounded. Degoi, you look over your shoulder and you see Lena leave. Like maybe she's hustling out with all this Thaler in her blouse. She runs out into the light of day, and there you are, surrounded by 6 angry men with a mob all around you. People are spreading out along the walls. Daggers are flying. The man you tried to steal the pouch from is, coming towards you, yelling, "Thief! This treasure hunter should be put down." What does Degoi do?
I think Degoi puts up his hands and says, Gentlemen, I'm just clumsy. There was no need for this. I don't have any coin in my hands, and as you can see, I didn't steal anything."
So you're trying to make them believe that it's all an accident.
Which it truly was.
I don't know. That sounds pretty hard after you just crashed in, grabbed this pouch. You could make a persuasion roll at -3. It's going to be hard for you.
Everything's hard for Degoi.
And I did have a question, though, for Degoi. Like, he's part noble. So how did he end up with no money?
Oh, that Degoi had to spend his money on equipment to survive because he's very
Huh.
squishy.
Okay. I was just curious. I didn't, I didn't know why he would be without money. So he's cash poor because he had to really just buy his equipment.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And in fact, I think privilege gives me a second roll. Oh, I gotta look that up.
Privilege would give you a second roll on, manipulating someone of the same class. Do you think whoever you stole for is also noble? Should we ask fate to see if you get that bonus?
Sure, give it a try. Might be
Okay.
helpful.
You're in kind of a dive, but he does have money, and there's kind of two classes of treasure hunters here. There are those who are just almost at their end, and there are those who are kind of slumming, maybe treating those beneath them with a bit of disdain or, poking at them. All right, let's see what it says. Oh,
Did I get lucky?
no, it says exceptional no.
See, I
Exception,
told you I got lucky.
not even exceptional no. That means that he's like drug himself out of the gutter, Degoi, and was a beggar, poor man, and he's made it good. This man has made it good at hard work, not birth, and your nobleness has just tried to steal his money from his belt, and he knows it. And so he's not buying it all. So we're going to put you in initiative. He rallies everyone around him to teach you a lesson. What I will do is only have 3 of them attack you rather than all. They all are kind of hanging back a little bit. And then you try to convince this man that you're innocent, but being a noble and him being a once beggar and then finding his place, he has no qualms about teaching you a lesson. And so he gets 3 of them to attack right away. Well, you're getting lucky, huh?
Well, you know how that goes. It just runs out eventually.
Not this time. You have these
There
3
he is.
yeah, you have these 3 daggers come at you. Suk, 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 suk. And you sidestep around these coins. Maybe they slip on some coins, and there's also, like hands underneath their feet. Like everyone around you is like, some of them are on their knees, like scooping up extra coins while these 6 guys are trying to kill you because you just try to rob them. They're no longer interested in the coinage. They're interested in this noble who just tried to steal from them. And at least at the moment, at least for this round. And these 3 knives come at you rapid fashion as you're in the middle, and they bracket you in, really. Coming close in on you. You got nowhere to go. What does Degoi do?
So before I do anything, as each dagger comes in, Degoi quickly reposes their strikes.
Okay, so you can strike
So
this guy, one of the red caps, and the bigger dude with the beard on the bottom right.
All right. Oh, this is different. Was there an update? This wasn't here before.
What is it? I don't think so. I haven't
Oh,
updated.
I didn't have a. It has the extra damage. Normally, I had the damage put into the attack, but now it has
Oh,
fencing and backstab.
might have updated on its own. I don't think I've updated the system, but it does look like it.
Oh,
You better
see, I
get rid
told
of
you.
it.
Eventually, it goes wrong.
Okay. um, okay. Now, how many times is it? It's just a
What was the last
reaction.
one?
The bottom one on the right.
Yeah, they're just reactions to the attack.
The one with a beard. And he gets as many as that as he wants. Okay. So they all kind of rush, and now you're bracketed by all these daggers. You're in this middle, standing on coins. The table gets shoved out of the way. Little, maybe one urchin is on the ground picking up coins, and a couple other people are picking up coins, like snatching them really quickly, trying to stay away, just one or two here and there while they're watching this. And some bets are going off. Maybe Degoi doesn't notice that, but, they're making a bet at how long you last, 1 round, 2 round, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Maybe he will last 5 minutes, but he's a noble.
I think I would hear that and be like, I bet on myself for $10.
And someone says, how long? 30 seconds or a minute? 5 minutes, $10. You last 5 minutes.
I'm thinking 2 minutes at this point.
Okay. What does Degoi do?
Oh, Degoi is going to lash out at the first one I hit, the brown cap at the top right, the top
And
left, excuse me.
You hit him for 3, right? Yeah.
Correct.
I wonder why I didn't take it off. I put 3 then. Okay.
No, you missed the brown cap.
Oh, he missed the brown cap and he hit the others
Oh,
for
missed
3.
the brown cap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, in that
check.
case, I'll hit the red cap there.
Yeah, the red cap right up to your right, you did hit. It took the damage off, so. And so did you hit the fortune hunter behind you?
Yeah, I hit 2 and missed 1.
Okay. You lash out with your fencing sword as you're shoved and pushed and daggers are flying. You get your fencing sword out and you're trying to find yourself room, but you're bracketed by everyone. Does Degoi do anything else besides shout out 10 thaler for 5 minutes?
No.
All right.
I'm just kind of holding on till, hopefully some guards show up or something.
Right. Let's
I'd
have
rather be arrested.
Let's have you roll a 1d6 to see how many rounds it takes before that whistle to get some guards. Two rounds. Oh, maybe you will make it, Degoi. Maybe they all lean into you, Degoi. All 6 of them. They obviously have advantage, and all 6 of them are going to take a stab at you. Ooh. Is that right then? 5 damage?
Yeah, because I only rolled a 1 for defense, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Getting some bad rolls now.
You mentioned the fickleness of luck.
Oh, at least
Oy.
that one worked. They're just coming at it everywhere. Knives, long daggers. One fortune hunter tries to hit you over the head with his club. You start bleeding from multiple wounds, Degoi, and you hear that shrill whistle out there. What is Degoi thinking as all these daggers and knives come out, and you hear the man say, "You're gonna get it, noble, trying to steal from us, coming into our place."
No, you'll all hang for attacking a noble this way, especially so many against one. Is that all the defenses?
Yep. And so you're still in this group. You hear chittering behind you. Hell, he ain't gonna last 5 minutes, and he won't even be able to give you any thaler because he's here stealing anyways.
I know, right?
Who's gonna pay you, fool? What does the Goy do?
So I'm gonna repose for all the attacks that hit or all the defenses that I got.
Oh, so you get three defenses, right? Because you had three. There's 3 misses. Thug misses. Fortune hunter misses. Pickpocket. So this one, the one at 7 o'clock, and the one at 9 o'clock, they all missed. So 5 o'clock, 7
Okay,
o'clock, 9 o'clock. The bottom 3, essentially. Right.
Bottom 3. Okay,
Right.
on the left side, right?
Right. So you start kind of here with the guy with the beard, and then just go around in a clockwise manner for 3
All right.
riposts.
Okay.
Is that a reaction to all the misses?
Yeah, he has riposte, which allows him to, if they miss, allows him to make an attack. You're going to put him prone, or I guess you're right. You can't take another attack during a riposte. I think you drop him, you stab him, and he gets stung as he leans in to get you. As you're swirling around all these people, you just happen to get an easy riposte on him, and you catch him through his side, and and he drops down to one knee, kind of wobbles, and you hear a big shout in the tavern. "Shay! Maybe he will make it. Someone go shut that whistle off." You see a few guys like run up the steps. "Hey, quiet." You hear the shrill whistle, like immediately stop. Degoi.
Right.
What do you do?
So I'm gonna let the guy be stunned, and I will shift back to the red cap from before.
Okay, the one at 1 o'clock. Whoa. All right.
Oh, got a good one on that one.
So you swirl around, you're dancing around, probably turning left and right, trying not to be killed, Degoi. And you put down one of the red caps, and the bar goes silent. And people start making more bets. Lena, you're on the outside of the bar, and are you like leaving the area, I would expect, with your thaler wrapped up in your shirt?
Oh, Lena would like.
Hell, and you should be placing a bet on me too.
Right. What does she do? I missed that part.
Lena will wait for Daigo.
Oh, outside. You're just hoping that he's going to make it out on his own, huh?
Yeah, he seems
Okay.
pretty strong.
So you're there, and the guards, come up, and they come running up, and maybe you drop some thaler, or you're kind of clutching your coin, and you're standing along the edge of the wall of the bar, the tavern, and one of the guards come up to you and says, "What's going on in there? Do they really need this? We hate going into that bar."
Oh, no, I don't think they need you there.
Thanks,
All
Lena.
right. Lena. Hi. The guards really don't want to go in there, honestly. So I would roll a persuasion at +2, or give yourself advantage. You're trying to convince these two guards. The other guard, he says, "Hey, slow down now, slow down. She says nothing's going on in there. We don't have to go in there. I mean, really, we don't want to go into Sartorio's. Let them handle their business." And the other guard kind of looks at him and goes, "But Captain Talios, yeah, we know, but maybe we just turn around. There's no one blowing a whistle anymore, and see what happens." Lena, roll persuasion. Just tell them, they don't need you. Oh, you fail.
Oh, yeah.
Look at you, Degoi. The guardsman looks at Lena. Guardsman looks at Lena and says, just look at her face. Damn it. Something bad is happening. Come on. Let's go see what's going on. And, the other guardsman says, okay, yeah, let's go. And Lena, you see them leave you while you're kind of standing there, while you said, no problem. They disbelieve you. And they talk to the three men, one of the men who was blowing the whistle, and he kind of shakes his head. "Oh, no, there's nothing going on. Nothing going on, guardsman." And you can see the two guards look at himself, and, one of them tips back his head, maybe rolls his eyes like, "Oh, crap. We got to go downstairs." And they're going to go down into the bar itself, where Degoi is fighting for his life. The thugs attack. You kill one of them. You have another one. The one that you put down just kind of crawls along the floor, trying to get out of the way. And the four that are left don't give in, and they all attack.
How much money did you make, Lena, by the way? How much did you scoop up?
Like,
It's,
I
it's
think it
better
was.
be worth it.
I'd have to look. I think it was 20-something thaler. It was a
Okay,
pretty
yeah,
big.
that's worth it.
Nope.
Oh, you put down the thug. My fault. I got to move him out. I put the wrong one out.
No.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not that much damage. You get stabbed, just a little nick.
Yeah.
You're swirling around. You hear argument outside. Maybe it gives you a little bit of bolster, because you can hear guardsmen outside talking and yelling. You hear their steps coming down the steps as they're yelling their entrance in. The three that missed you are the non-red cap. So, the top 11 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, 5 o'clock. The red cap hits you, and so if you want to do your post.
You said not the red cap, right?
Right, not the red cap. 10 damage. How does Degoi do that?
Oh, that one was straight to the heart. That was the treasure hunter who didn't believe me, so he got it straight to the heart. As I roll around to attack the others and miss one.
Okay.
I think this is the only way he would survive.
right?
having this ability.
Riposte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they missed him a couple times, but he's and he rolled good on the number of rounds it takes to the guard get
For the
there.
guards to show up.
Right. He's Degoi's, teetering here, teetering. He's
All it
bleeding.
takes is one good hit.
Right,
One good hit and I'm done.
He's bleeding all over the place. Lena's outside. She's left him be. He hears the guards running down, so maybe he's got a reprieve here. Degoi, you are fighting off. One crawls away. Two of them, you've ended their days. You see the guards at the steps. They come running down, yelling, "Now that's enough! That's enough! Put down them weapons!" You see the three of the others kind of look back and maybe hold for a minute. What does Degoi do?
If they're not attacking, I'd be like, it's not my fault. They attacked me. 6 against 1.
It's a kid's run. So Degoi holds his attack this round. It is his initiative.
Oh yes. Yeah, I won't attack him.
Okay.
So I have to.
The guardsmen come down, and the one who you tried to steal the purse is still alive, and he starts yelling at him that you try to steal from them all, upended their game. You're slumming down here in our tavern, and he tried to steal his pouch. Like, he pulls on his pouch and shows him, and the whole bar, obviously chimes in that, they look around the whole bar and, what do you say? What do you say? What do you two? And they look at the dead and the guy who's crawling away, that's leaning up against the bar now because he's bleeding. And the whole bar says that's the truth. What does Degoi do?
I'll admit that I'm clumsy, but if you'll see, I have no coinage. There is no reason for me to steal. I was just here on Queen's business.
Yeah, you got the whole bar against you, Degoi. That's a really hard roll. I don't know if you could do it. I'll give you persuasion at -4. There's a slim chance the way you're built, and you put down 3 others, and they know this bar. They didn't want to come down here in the first place, and so. Oh.
And that's all I needed.
So the guards come up to you and they roughly grab you, and one of them gets out his, kind of shackles, and he says, "Behind your back, man, behind your back. Drop that weapon." And he leans into you and he kind of whispers, "Now, if you want to get out of here alive, you need to let us put you in some shackles just to get you outside, sir."
Oh, Degoi goes willingly. He's like, this is a lot better than fighting off these leftover people.
Right. So Degoi, they put shackles on you, put your arms behind your back and shackle you up. One of them picks up your rapier, and they march you out of the tavern, out into the light. The guy you stole...
Right before they take me outside, I want to yell back, "Make sure I get my $10 on me."
And you hear back, "It hasn't been 5 minutes."
Not yet.
Behind you comes a guy you tried to steal $1 from, and he's just yelling at the guards, I'm coming all the way down to the guardhouse with you to put in a complaint about this man." And the guards look at each other and kind of roll their eyes and, damn. All right, let's go. And they start marching Degoi in cuffs, followed by this guy who's streaming curses at him towards the main guardhouse. Degoi, you kind of pass Lena. She's maybe standing up against the edge of the tavern outer wall, with her shirt.
I give her a wink. Like, wink.
What does Lena do as Degoi is being marched towards the barracks, or he's going to be taken to the main barracks and of the city guard, which is pretty close to Nighthome. What does Lena say as Degoi walks past them?
I wink back at him.
All right. And so we'll go to Leeromei. you were with Father Sarvallo and did some kitchen work at the missionary, probably
Yep.
recharging your spirits, and you've decided to go to Mayor Nightpitch's house, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. As you're walking through, I'm actually going to get the map for Thistle Hold, so if I can find it. There it is. As you're walking from Father Sarvallo's missionary house, the map, oh, there we go. As you're walking from Father Sarvallo's missionary house, wow, they have some old. You are coming through the antique plaza, I think, and Bo, you and Guy Hadid have left the Ordo Magica Tower after having your meeting with Malgomar when Mother Mahira told you, and you see Leeromei walking through the antique plaza, headed towards Winter Street, and you and Guy Hadid is kind of looking over his shoulder oddly and checking down side streets for some reason, and you see Leeromei away from Antique Plaza. What does Bo do as he sees Leeromei?
He'll just speed up, try to catch up.
Okay. Leeromei is planning to go to the Nighthome to talk to Mayor Nightpitch. I would assume Bo would tag along.
Yep.
Yeah, Guy Hadid looks at you and says, okay, look, I got some things to do. He's got this kind of shifty look. He's looking all around him, and he rubs the back of his neck and he says, I got things to do. I'll catch up with you all tomorrow when we meet with that Ordo magician before we leave. Okay, Bo, Leeromei, I'll catch you up tomorrow at the tower, Ordo Tower, in the morning to meet Malgomar. Leeromei's probably looking at him like, what?
Try not to be arrested or anything like that overnight to be incredibly inconvenient if you were behind bars.
Yeah, Guy Hadid looks at you and says, yeah. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. He kind of looks over his shoulder. Tomorrow I'll see you. And you and Bo go towards Nighthome. You reach Nighthome, which is, for those on the map, is down here on Autumn Street. And you come to the front gate of Nighthome, and the guards are at the gate, and you see them kind of whispering to themselves and looking around. They seem kind of fidgety, Bo and Leeromei.
Things are not good, are they?
Does Leeromei ask him that question, or?
No, I'm just sort of like saying that aloud next to Bo before going to the guards. Greetings. We were doing some work for Mayor Nightpitch a short while ago, and we have come to a report in.
They kind of look at you, and you see, oh, thank God, because they recognize Bo and Leeromei as they were once honorary guardsmen of Thistle Hold, and they say, okay, go right in. He's waiting for you, I think, or right. And they usher you in the front gate. They open the gate and let you come in. You are walking up towards Nighthome, up the kind of treed alleyway. It rises up a little bit, and you notice that there's like dead patches of grass and a couple trees that are brown and over, like they didn't get pushed over by a storm, or they're not snapped in half. They're like the roots gave out and they're just tipped over. And then there's other places that are nice and green and grassy, and you come to the front, you go up these number of steps, and you're maybe 2 or 3 steps up, and you notice the double doors are open. There's no guardman at the door.
Very much not good. Lero's gonna very carefully walk in, like, he hasn't drawn the sword, but it is like, am I gonna have to?
Well, you hear me draw mine.
I don't want to be stabbed for walking armed into the mayor's house.
You don't think something's amiss?
Swords out.
Yeah.
Going in.
I almost think Bo like walks around Thistle Hold with his sword out over his shoulder. It's always there.
Well, remember he thinks he's privileged too. So
True, which is odd because 3 of you are privileged, or maybe 4. So there's no door guard. Usually there's one, even if he's sitting on the steps smoking. Mayor Nightpitch is an old treasure hunter, and he essentially got the queen to give him the land of Thistle Hold, and he made Thistle Hold a reality. And you get to the door and you hear sword fighting in the interior of the house, of the mansion.
Okay, Lero starts running in towards.
let's go.
Yep.
You run towards where you had met Mayor Nightpitch, and you run into kind of this small eating area with a long table with windows that look out. And Mayor Nightpitch is backed up along the corner of the wall, surrounded what looks like abominations. He's standing over his witch Yagaba's body. Mayor Nightpitch is old, but he's, a big man who was a prior treasure hunter who has a long storied history. He's holding this bright blade. You can't really see the blade of it. It just looks like it's made of a shaft of light. And he's fighting off these 2 abominations.
Seeing monsters.
Seeing monsters.
Lero is
We'll put you in initiative.
Yep.
So Bo and Leeromei, you charge in. You're at the end of the room. You see these abominations that look like they're dressed in guardsmen clothes. They're black. Their eyes, their mouths are open in kind of this silent scream. Their flesh is turned black with filigree of blackness everywhere. Their face and their eyes are completely black. And they're just trying to hack at Mayor Nightpitch as he stands over to protect his witch Yagaba. Bo, what do you do?
I will cast Retribution.
Okay.
Guess it doesn't matter. I'll target the far one. There you go. That's resolute against resolute. But I should be able to do it. Oh, no, it's not. Why is it not listed under mystical powers?
Retribution. Yeah, I think you just select resolute and then choose your target's resolute and roll it that way. I don't see you can roll it either straight from Retribution's tab.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you have a depth level, so.
I do.
Oh, okay. What else does you? So you cast Retribution. It's probably silent. You probably cast it. You don't really feel it, but you feel that link established. It's a little bit of a mirage of air between you, but there's no like light or physical manifestation other than that. Just Bo can feel it as he's rushing into the room and immediately does that. What else does Bo do?
Well, I'll run into kind of absorb the attacks.
Okay. All right. And then Leeromei, you see Bo stutter a little bit at first, or maybe even hear it, like hear some words. You don't really understand what those words are, but Leeromei has been around Bo long enough to realize Bo is using magic, which is dangerous. What does Leeromei do as Bo rushes into the room? Mayor Nightpitch looks up and he has this look on his face like, oh, thank God, thank Prios. But he's not really a Prios man. He just probably looks at both of you and acknowledges you there and realizes that the day is not lost yet. Someone has gifted him with your presence. What does Leeromei do?
Much the same as Bo. The spells start, and then abominations. They're fun for. Leero likes fighting abominations. Because I've got adept.
You just take one.
POG, yeah, is one.
Yeah. I'll change it for you.
No, I've just done it.
Oh, you did it already.
Yep. And let's go. Cut down.
Now, which hammer is a reaction or a regular action?
Free action.
Free action. Okay, sure.
Yeah, pretty sure it's free to start.
I think it's part of the attack, right?
No, it's a free action, so it's like saying some words, just passing a message on. It doesn't take a combat
Right.
action to do.
You're just kind of your sword suddenly becomes encased in light.
Yep.
Immediately glowing.
Yep. You said these were abominations?
They are. Or Blightborn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not really flanking, are we? So no advantage.
No. As you move up into space, Mayor Nightpitch grabs his witch Yagaba and starts dragging her towards the corner, out of the fray, as now Bo and Leeromei are in the room with them, trying to drag her to safety. And just as Leeromei strikes that Blightborn guardsman, you can recognize them. You both know these guardsmen. You've met them at the gate before, but suddenly they're abominations and no longer themselves. They just have a hunger for your flesh and blood, and they both attack. I think one would move. Leeromei.
Yep.
Oh, that's weird why your current toughness looks like it's...
It should be 10.
Yeah, it's just reversed. Your blue line at top. I get confused. I always think the red line is your toughness. Gotta take that off.
Suck it.
Right. Oops. It wouldn't let me target both of you at the same time. I don't know why that's not fair. The other one strikes at Bo, and they both miss. Mayor Nightpitch drags Yagaba over to the corner and picks up a chair and puts it over her, so that the chair is blocking anything that may try to attack her. Bo, the Blightborn guardsmen kind of attack you, and Leeromei, what does Bo do?
He'll he'll attack with his fencing sword.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to roll the damage for them separately because they're not rolling. It's not rolling correctly. Okay. So you attack this Blightborn guardsman. Does Bo do anything else? Just maintains position.
Yeah, maintains his defensive
Okay.
position.
Leeromei, Mayor Nightpitch looks up you and is tucking his witch Yagaba kind of under the chair and then kind of stands up and he nods at you and points towards the other guardsmen. Quickly now, before the crown takes more of them.
Ah, the crown. All right, let's attempt to cut down this one again.
Okay.
Jeebus, these things are chunky.
Now, yeah, I guess you would take a second attack or let it be put prone.
I would take a second attack if I
Okay.
can.
Yep. How does that look as you take out that Blightborn guardsman? You know his name is Selef. You've seen him before. Probably even had meals next to him in the guards' quarters of the town watch with Captain Talios, but he's no longer Seraph. What does Leeromei do?
The Blightborns, the Blight's an abomination on the face of this earth, and unfortunately, Prios protects us when we can, and those that fall must be put down, unless
Okay.
they further taint this world. And then I'll use my movement action to flank this one with.
Oh yeah, you
Bo.
could do that. You give Bo on his, or give your both advantage. You move over, pass over. Mayor Nightpitch decides just to sit in the chair that's over Yagava. He figures that both you and Bo have this done, and he lays his kind of glowing sword across his lap and hangs his head a little bit. He looks worn. His eyes are sunken. He looks pale, like he hasn't eaten in days. And the other abomination guardsman attacks Bo as it, doesn't really see you as you kind of come up behind it. Completely misses. Perhaps your movement swirls it around a little bit. It smells other flesh when Bo is right in front of him, but you get so close to him that he kind of turns a little bit and distracts him a little bit because there's another worm body, and misses Bo completely. Bo, what do you do?
I attack.
Okay.
Oh, it's good damage.
Yep. So you attack with your fencing sword.
Yep.
Leeromei is standing behind you. You're both flanking him. You can kind of see each other. You're coordinating because you've fought together for quite some time. One of the two that have not perished, as opposed to Rigmar and Katarina and the others. And Leeromei can see your fencing sword go all the way through and come out the back and then retract. Leeromei.
Was I supposed to do extra damage?
No, you just do advantage when you're
Okay.
when you're flanking. Leeromei, you're in.
I think the advantage is an extra D4, isn't it? Because it's the checkbox. We'll see now.
Yeah, we'll see. There is something up with the thing, but
Yeah, it's an extra D4.
okay.
Doesn't matter.
Right. Both you and Leeromei put down this last Blightborn guardsman, and you look back, and Mayor Nightpitch has his hand on his forehead and his sword across it, and as soon as that last guardsman who is turned into abomination is dispatched, his sword slowly loses its luster or the light around it and becomes dull again. What do Leeromei and Bo do?
Turn to Nightpitch and say, "I take it the crown is to blame."
Yeah, he looks at you and he goes, "You're the smart one of the group, right?" He kind of looks down at his feet and he says, "We got to get that crown back to where it belongs and put it to rest.
Do.
It's seeping through the whole city. The Ordo has a secret. They sent some expedition to the place without letting anyone know, and they're sending another one out there. So I would pretend that you want to be hired by them, tag along, and put this crown to rest. Come pick it up, and I will give you special licenses that you keep on your person in case there's any trouble. But, make the Order pay you for doing it and make them give you the licenses first. But I'll give you some special licenses just in case any of the Queen's men hassle you on the way. But we got to get this crown outside of Thistle Hold." His eyes are sunken. He looks pale. His lips are pale. His hand shakes a little bit. And he kind of looks up at Bo and Leeromei and says, "We should have done this a long time ago. Are you all still in?"
Of course.
I am.
Okay. Master Emilio, you've come to Thistlehold for your own and traveled from where your original chapter was. Where was your original chapter?
Master Emilio was trained in Agrella, in the headquarters of the Ordo Magica.
And he's come here under his own volition.
Yes,
But-
he's with the he's with the group, the Ordo group.
Right. So the Ordo Magica's tower in Thistlehold is the second tallest structure in the city. It's about 7 stories tall, and as Master Emilio has come here a couple days ago, he finds the tower high. It's got this low stone wall around it that looks like it has plots of herbs, which he ultimately finds out, Master Cornelio is growing certain herbs, some Davokar, that have been found to have medicinal or other qualities. And he moves to the low stone wall on the pathway up to the gatehouse of the tower. And he's greeted, obviously, as a master of the Order of Magica because he is Master Emilio. How do you sign the ledger, Master Emilio? For your reason.
Master Emilio just signs it, Master Emilio, Ordo Magica of Ordo Magica.
Sure. And what is your purpose here?
My purpose is to investigate, is to help a expedition that was sent into the forest, and somehow they must have gotten lost.
Yeah, I don't think Master Emilio knows of that yet.
Oh, okay.
I think
So-
he's come to Thistlehold at first to pursue personal goals, correct?
Yeah, just say research. Just
Okay.
I'm a scholar. I'm here for research. And he starts mumbling all sorts of just lore stuff from ancient books.
Right. Oh, so you're not a transfer then? You haven't come here to stay with us at Thistlehold?
Oh no, I'm
Okay.
I'm here for other reasons.
Okay. What happens is he's probably billeted as a master at the tower of Ordo Magica, and he's looking for that personal reason of why he's really in Thistlehold. And he eventually hears scuttle about that expedition. about this expedition that was sent into Davokar and a loss of contact. And he learns of a Ordo Magica who's probably a couple ranks below Master Emilio, really, quietly that the Ordo magician Marlomay is sending out a group of men and women to sort out how come the expedition has lost contact. How would Master Emilio proceed once he finds out this kind of whispered information between certain initiates and scribes, or he's in the library and he hears he's always got an ear out for that sort of thing. How would he approach, or what would he do when he finds out that information? Did I lose you?
Oh yes, he will he will accost the novice who is talking about this and try to persuade him to share more information about the expedition. Master Emilio will try to emphasize that he is a master from Umbrella.
The weight of Master Emilio. How tall is Master Emilio? What does he look like?
He's not very tall. He's not. So Master Emilio, he is a fat. He is a fat scholarly man, and he is of medium height, and he has an egg-shaped head, and he's completely bald. He's got a big bulbous nose that's very red, and strangely placed ears. On his face, though, he has wire-rimmed spectacles with thick glasses that make his eyes look as large as eggs.
So a terrible sight for a novice who's looking down at you as you back him up into the books.
He is fat, so he's probably
big,
heavier than the novice.
Yeah, I think just the fact that he is a master and he's demanding information from a novice who's whispering in the stacks, that novice, despite the height of Master Emilio and given his girth, and even though, you know, those huge glasses just make him have these giant eyes, and he has these low set ears, just a terrible, that novice probably sputters out, "It's not me, Master, it's not me, it's Marlomay. Marlomay is tasked with this thing. He's sending out men to recover and figure out what's happening to the expedition. You have to talk to Marlomay. And he gives you kind of directions to Marlomay's study, you know, private study. Marlomay's not a master, but apparently he has some pull at the Ordo Magica.
Okay, so he thanks the novice and encourages them in his study.
Oh yes, yes, master. Yes, I understand. He's kind of got his hands on, you know, behind his back, and, you know, standing as tall as possible, because he's probably about almost 6 feet, you know, 2 meters, 2.5 meters tall, right? And you know, he's way above. You know, he's trying to look down and make sure that, you know, he's being appropriate, and you shove him up against a bookcase.
Okay, so Master Emilio just waves off the novice and run and goes off to find Marlomay.
Okay. You come to this kind of thick door. You know that there's private studies all around the tower at, you know, different places. A lot of them have, you know, windows that look out upon Thistle Hold, and the door is slightly cracked. You know, just a sliver of this giant kind of thick wooden door. How does How does
Is it an office? It looks like a study. Is it a study?
well, you would know that it would probably be like a study, a table where you can put some books, a small bookcase, but the door is only cracked a little bit, so he's not really looking in there. But Master Emilio would know what that kind of room is because it's kind of on the second floor with where the windows are, and there's a couple on the fourth floor, but it is kind of not a private study. It's a study that masters and initiates can do to find quiet instead of trying to study in the main library or, that sort of thing.
So he's gonna just gently push open the door, very slowly push open the door and try to peek inside.
Okay. He kind of peeks in, he pushes it a little bit open, and he peeks in, maybe the gap is 5 inches, 6 inches, uh, that amount. And he kind of peeks in and he sees this younger man who's relatively tall, sitting really straight. Like there's a bench there, but he's like sitting stock still and he has a book out in his hand and, he's going over it and he's writing some notes and his back towards you is so that he could see out the window, but it's just him. In, robes that are probably 2 or 3 ranks below Master Emilio.
So Master Emilio speaks in a deliberately loud voice and says, "Excuse me, are you Leeromei?"
And he kind of looks up at you and he almost gets out of his chair, but then he sits down again. He goes, "I am. And who are you, Master? I am Leeromei."
So he introduces himself as Master Emilio from Agrella, and he's here for research. And he's here to inquire about some expedition that Leeromei is leading.
Yeah, his eyes immediately flick to the door, and he says, "Where have you heard that, Master?" But he doesn't get out of his chair, and there's only one chair in the room, Master Emilio, and you outrank him, but you immediately can tell that Leeromei has a certain personality. Like he thinks a lot of himself. He's kind of looking you up and down. You stand barely taller than him that he's sitting in his chair, but he doesn't get out of his chair. His eyes do flick to the doorway and, as you come in, and he gives you this motion to close the door and he says, "Who have you heard that from, Master Emilio? And why are you inquiring about it?"
So he says he's here on research, and he had sources just tell him about this.
And you are here for research. I'm missing the point, Master Emilio, between whatever that expedition may or may not be and why you're asking me about it. Is your research part of that?
Well, I'm just researching artifacts, strange things, and all the clues just led me to you. And Emilio starts getting a little bit impatient with Leeromei.
Sure. But does he show that impatience or he just
Yes, he starts to show that impatience.
does he do anything about that impatience or just let it ride?
He just he kind of just expresses it in his mannerisms and his voice.
Okay. Yeah, Leeromei just doesn't respond to that, Master Emilio. It's almost like, you're beneath him. Like he's the master in this room and you're not. And he kind of looks at you and he looks you up and down again and, the door is closed and says, "I am sending men to this expedition, but it's not really a place for someone like you, Master Emilio. The tower is safe. You should do your research as necessary."
And Master Emilio gets a little bit he gets a little groused and he says, "I've been in towers all my life." And he's here and he says, "I'm here and Thistle Hold to do field research. It's urgent. that I go out there and investigate whatever it is that has been found or is being investigated.
Leeromei kind of shakes his head and, oh, that's probably reasonable, Master. So if I send you with these men to the expedition, would you do a favor for me in recompense, sir? He kind of adds the sir on like late, 5-10 seconds later than it should be, Master.
He says, I will consider your request. What is it?
Well, those I'm sending out there have no need to return. And so once the issue is solved, perhaps you and the other magical order there could make sure they do not come back to Thistle Hold.
So Master Emilio is aghast at this request, and he's kind of wondering what sort of scheme this is, but he doesn't say anything.
You try to hide it?
Yes. So Mr. Emilio will try to hide it and says, I'll do what I can, but I am just a scholar. I'm not a soldier.
Okay, roll discreet, just flat out. Okay. He doesn't seem to believe you, but he shakes his head and says, okay, then, Master Emilio, on the morrow in the morning, I'm meeting with the group so that they may leave and decide which way to travel. He kind of shows you a map of where they may go. I do not know which way they may go. They may go up the road to the bridge camp at Karvosti, or they may travel down to Kurun and take a boat up the Eblis to the same location. But I leave it up to them. They are experienced. I would be careful with them, though. They're not to be trusted. And if they should do things unnecessary, you may not be a scholar forever, Master Emilio. You may need to take action. That's what the magic order need of us in order
yes,
to...
I understand. I understand.
Okay. Does Master Emilio say anything as he takes his leave?
This Leeromei, you've been very helpful. I will recommend you to your superiors.
He says, yeah, that won't be necessary. Master Emilio, my superiors know me very well. At sunlight, meet me out in the courtyard, and we will prepare to receive our men and women, those that are going to work for us. We unfortunately have to pay them, but that happens. And you can get ready for travel tonight and have one good rest before you're sleeping underneath the leaves of Davokar or going up the river Elvis into danger. Have you ever been to the forest?
Never, but I've read quite a lot about it, so
Oh.
I should be fine.
He kind of looks at you and says, yes, dead men and women write good books. Kind of chuckles to himself at his own little joke, and he's going to meet you at sunrise tomorrow.
Very good.
Okay.
And he moves on.
Let's go back to Bo and Leeromei just for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions for Mayor Nightpitch?
I don't want to know what he's found out about the skull, because I know we've got to put it back, but it was a while ago, so that we did anything related to it. So
yeah, he kind of
sort
looks
of
over. He looks over at his witch Yagava, and he pats her on the cheek a little bit, but she's still out. She's out unconscious, and he kind of sighs and he says, "The crown has a spirit of this ancient Symbar lord, and it has been trying to get out, as you well know, and it offers those who help free it from the crown things that they can never have." And he kind of looks at the two dead abomination guards who had succumbed to the crown's influence. We had taken it out to investigate more. Yagaba did, and before we could get the box closed, whatever is in the clown reached out and took charge of these guardsmen. And he nods over, and you see this kind of overturned box with iron loops around it that's now closed, but the latch isn't closed. And he says, you have to take it back to where it was, bury it with the rest, where they left the rest of the remains of Hurien Lo Opak, and make sure it's not found again, and put his spirit to rest. If it stays here, who knows what will happen. The Ordo had sent out, they must have found out where that place was, and they sent an expedition out there quietly without me knowing. My man at the Ordo didn't know, and now they've lost that expedition. That can only be bad news, but secretly they are sending a group out to investigate. Perhaps you see a man, or I was told called Leeromei, that is sending out a group quietly to investigate the lost Ordo expedition.
Well, that prick.
So you've already met him then?
We have had the misfortune. We travelled to Thistle Hold with him from Old Ambria.
No, you did not. Leeromei
Did
is
we not? Oh,
no.
that was a different one.
Yeah, Leeromei
But
is
we-
who Bo and Guy Hadid met. You haven't met Leeromei at all.
Ah,
Bo knows Leeromei because he had just talked to him about with Guy Hadid about this mission.
righty. Backtracking on that entirely then. I don't know Malgomar.
Bo, do you pipe up about having met Leeromei?
I don't.
Okay, keep that a secret. You already told Leeromei, but probably. You don't tell Mayor Nightpitch. You just agree that you're going to meet Leeromei.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I just tell him that we will meet him.
He goes, he kind of nods, and he nods over to the box and make sure you latch it. Don't let it out until you're within the crypt or wherever it's supposed to go. And then he points on the table. There's our licenses. There are special licenses from my hand. Take them with you, but make sure the Ordo give you their own licenses to be in Davokar and use them. Only use the ones I give you if you really need it.
Okay.
Okay.
Lyra's will go over, like, pick up one, throw the boat's license to him, and pick up his and tuck it inside his robes. Just double checking, we're taking the crown inside the box.
Right? He kind of looks at the box. He goes, yeah, make sure you put that latch on. Don't pick it up without the latch. Don't let it out, Leeromei. Don't let the crown out of the box.
Whatever you do.
Whatever you do, don't let the crown out of the box.
That ain't Chekhov's gun at all.
Okay.
Yeah, Lyra's gonna do the latch up before picking up the box. Like, make sure it's properly closed before shifting it.
Yeah, you pick up, like, there's probably 5 licenses, 6 licenses with the mayor's handwriting. You know, they're licenses to be within Davokar treasure hunting, which you have to have licenses. Otherwise, blackguards or Queen's Rangers will track you down and ask you for your license. And if you don't have a license, they'll escort you out. But it's rare that you have a license to be within Davokar under the Mayor Nightpitch's own signature, and you find 5 or 6 of those licenses on the table, and collect them with the crown. Do you do anything as you leave? Mayor Nightpitch looks at you and says, "Can you drag these guardsmen out? I will get a shovel myself. Put them in the ground."
We can.
Okay. Do you have any other questions or needs from Mayor Nightpitch as you leave Nighthome?
Not from Mayor Nightpitch, because we understand that the Order are going to be paying us.
Right. which Mayor Nightpitch doesn't know, but he already told you to fleece the Ordo anyways. You get a sense that
Yeah.
Mayor Nightpitch and the Ordo, there is power struggles within Thistle Hold and throughout the nation of Ambria, but, Mayor Nightpitch and the Ordo aren't always on the same line. Obviously, him having a close confidant in a witch called Yagaba, who still hasn't regained consciousness, probably doesn't help.
I step back towards him and say, well, there will be some kind of reward, right?
Yeah, he looks at you and says, if you make it back, Bo, if you make it back from where you go, then you Thistle Hold and I will be in your debt.
I just nod and then start dragging the bodies out.
Right. He looks at you and says, but don't bring anything back. Agreed. Don't bring anything back.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
Lyra's just laughing.
Right.
This whole problem's because people took something out. Of course, we're not bringing anything back.
So what will happen is that Master Emilio is getting ready to meet Leeromei in the morning. At some point, perhaps, Lena, Bo, Leeromei, and the others who have done their own thing probably meet up somewhere. Maybe they meet up maybe they had a plan to regain contact at the Queen Square at a certain hour or that sort of thing, at which point they learn that Degoi has been taken to the stockade, the barracks. Degoi, you don't really stay there very long. It's just long enough to let the man who harangues you all the way through the square, down Lassifer's Road, down Antique Plaza, back up to file his complaint and see you put behind the bars into a cell and spit on the floor and says, I will see you hanging from chains outside the wall. And he kind of stomps away. The guards give you a little bit of time, Degoi, inside, and then a somewhat tall, grizzled, but young, early 40s man with dark hair kind of grabs one of the bars and looks down at you and shakes his head and says, Noble, why are you in my city stealing? Why are there 3 dead, 2 dead, 1 that may be dead in a low-class bar around the Queen Square? Why am I leaving you out of this cell?
Well, friend guard, all I can say is that some business I can tell you about and some I can't. I happen to be running a lead for our queen, and I needed a bit of cash. But as you can see, I'm not such a successful thief.
He looks at you and he has this little quirky smile. And at one thing, he looks over his shoulder and looks at the guard in the cell room and says, a moment, please. And with his other hand, he makes some sign which Degoi would know is a sign of a fellow queen spy. It's a very subtle, very small, very little movement. And then he looks back at you when you're alone in the cell. He's got one hand on a long sword, and he says, we are all queensmen. I am Captain Talios. I am not a mere guardsman. What is this thing you're here for?
I was here seeking knowledge of the Winter Wife. We ran afoul of her on our way here, and I seek some sort of knowledge into how to deal with such a crazy and mysterious being.
Yeah, Captain Talios looks at you and says, "I do not know such a name. Is it a spy from the barbarians? Is the Winter Wife some elf? What is this Winter Wife? Does Thistle Hold need to be worried about it? Do I need to send a message to the Queen through other channels? Speak up now."
Well, you know the new tower being built just nearby.
Yeah.
We found the guards had been drawn into the forest. The Winter Wife had made them her puppets. Do not know if whether they're alive or not, but she tried to make puppets of our group. Seeing how we can't allow something so dangerous to be so near Thistle Hold, I took it upon myself to figure out what this Winter Wife is, why she's there, and how to stop her.
Yeah, Captain Talios has a sigh of relief. Oh, you're just talking about a horror then. Queensman, you're just talking about a horror of Davokar. A dime a dozen horror, or a thaler a dozen horror. I thought you were talking about some sort of elven invasion or some sort of general, the Winter Wife, but it's just a horror by the new tower. And then he pauses a little bit, and there's a little bit of flicker of worry, and he goes, "This Winter Wife, this thing of Davokar, this black monstrosity, did it take all the men? What about the stableman Granta?"
Oh, but him, we found him cowering in the building.
Oh, good
But
for Granta. I sent him there. I wouldn't want him to have in trouble. Boy, I'd have to answer a lot of questions. And then he kind of reaches in and gets keys out of his thing and opens up the door. Opens up the door. And, all right, then. Don't go back to that bar. I'd probably stay away from that side of the city. You might want to keep low a little bit. Cut your hair, do something. But don't go back to sartorials again.
well, hopefully there won't be any need to. I think I've accomplished what I needed.
Does Degoi do anything as he's set free?
Other than tip my head, nope.
Okay. And so Degoi, you walk out of the barracks. The barracks are, down here south of Antique Square. And probably what happens is Degoi, you're set free. The group has met Lena, figured out that you were arrested or taken in shackles. Lena's got this, 25 thaler, that she's probably eventually secreted other places. And you meet partway and learn the story of Malgomar and the Ordo magician. Leeromei carrying the box with the crown. And you're going to meet Malgomar in the morning to receive payment, a map, and information about the expedition which you're going to discover and help figure out why they're not contacting the Ordo, but really to take the crown back. Do you do anything overnight before you meet Malgomar? Relatively speaking.
Is this to the group or just to me?
Yeah, to the group. You're all back together. Degoi, you walk out and you kind of meet each other in the middle of the street, maybe down Pitch Street or the main street leading out of Antique Plaza.
Beyond suggesting that some people do some shopping, like if you've got money, it might be useful to buy restorative elixirs and things before we go into the forest.
Okay.
Leeromei doesn't have any money, but
Hey, you could have joined us in our little thievery escapade.
Yeah, I'm sure that story is told.
Oh, definitely. Degoi was up against 12, angry patrons.
Okay, so
Yeah, I think I would like to go back to the Queen's Legate and purchase that information. I think it was $5.
yeah, to search, like you have to search the uh, the Queen's Legate for information. You probably go back as everyone is getting ready to travel. You know you're going into Davokar along the Malgomar River. None of you have really been up that far. You're all Ambrian, and purchasing elixirs and that sort of thing is pretty simple, especially in Antique Plaza. There's even stalls that people make some, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. Degoi, you go back to the legate. You just have to roll a cunning roll to see if you find it. Like you pay your 4 thaler, you get some thaler from Lena because you're still thaler poor, and you're combing through the different type of expeditions, and especially focusing on that area, perhaps the original expeditions through that area, and you maybe find mention of a temple, and you find different mentions of spirits, perhaps, and things that explorers have written and treasure hunting has written about similar type of beings that they've encountered that decimated their whole party, and they're the only one left alive, or only a couple of us got out alive, and kin and men killed their own men, and friends turned against each other, and you find a little scrap of paper, a little small expedition that went a little bit further in a different direction and encountered a similar type of event, and a little piece of information that the only thing that seemed to affect this evil, vile spirit of Davokar was magic, or my friend's magic sword that was blessed by Prios and shined with a great light. Otherwise, nothing else could touch it. No sword, no spear, no arrow, unless it's blessed or has powers. These spirits are unassailable. And Degoi learns that in order to even attempt to harm or combat a spirit of this nature, you have really 2 choices. You either have magic or a weapon that can damage, has magic ingrained to it, or you run.
Okay. I'll make sure everybody else knows that as well.
Right. That's the main gist of it. Master Emilio at the Ordo, you're preparing to meet Leeromei in the morning at sunrise. Would you do anything specific with your knowing you're going into Davokar for the first time?
No, he will just make sure that he has all his equipment is all statted out.
Okay.
But he will carry a satchel with a lot of writing equipment.
A little writing desk, or is it just
No, not at that. A satchel with the research, quills, ink pot, journal, papers.
he's going into Davokar for the first time? Has he read a lot and done information about Davokar?
Yes, that's the one thing that he's good at. He's read practically everything about Davokar and the various adventures and expeditions that have been documented and that were available to him at the Agram. So he should have access. He should have read all of that stuff.
Yeah, Master Emilio may look short and round and wide and has these thick glasses and these low set ears and no hair, or maybe stubbles of hair, but he sure does know a whole lot about Davokar. He's never stepped foot in there. He's never been under the eaves of Davokar or felt the weight of the trees on top of him, but he knows minutia of expeditions and the original Ordo and Queen's Ranger reports of this area and that area and what's happening in Thistle Hold. Like, his depth of knowledge is huge, but his personal experience is small.
So he might just die, but know a lot.
Right. You know why he died? Just at the last minute. Oh, I should have done that. Now I remember. But yeah, he knows the danger probably. I probably, reading that much and having that much knowledge about Davokar, I think Master Emilio would have a firm appreciation about the complete risk of going into Davokar, regardless of who you're with and what you're with. And but preparation is everything. Don't you agree?
Yes, he knows. He knows. He knows. He knows that it's dangerous, but there's something tugging him
To
into the
go,
forest,
pushing him to go.
or pushing him to go, or pulling him in.
Okay. So if you wanted to buy potions, each of you can roll a d6, or let's see, let's roll and see how many potions you find. 9. So you find 9 potions. I don't mind if you split them up or decide, what those are, rather than playing out a shopping trip, that sort of thing. Potions are available. They're available from many places. The Antiques Plaza has vendors. There's the many other places. The Rope and Axe sometimes have it. You can find, secondhand potions that may be a little bit iffy. And I would just let you kit yourself out for travel before the morning.
Oh,
Anyone
you
ha-
said D6? I rolled a D12. Did you say D6 or D12?
Oh no, I did that, but I was accidentally on your screen. If I had your character selected, I accidentally rolled under you. That's what the 9 is for. My fault. Any questions before we go to morning? Master Emilio has 2.
I'm
No,
I'm not purchasing healing. I'm going to purchase something different.
Okay. Leeromei, you're
Yeah.
gonna.
Lero has 1 thaler to his name, and a few. I spent a lot of money last time I was in Thistle Hold, and we haven't been paid for anything since. So, getting some food, and I was skimming through the other, the items. There is this stuff called wraith dust that might be very useful to have.
Yeah, you can't get wraith dust unless you're in Karvosti. It's a Wrathguard. The Holdra makes wrath dust for the Wrathguards. You can't really get wrath dust unless you've stolen it from Karvosti and a witch on Karvosti, or a Wrathguard, which there's no history. The likelihood that Thistle Hold has wrath dust just out on the open, because it would be exceedingly rare, and hush hush is pretty much 0. So you can get reasonable things, and you could say that you were paid, Bo and Leeromei, Bo and Gaiatid is going to get paid 50 thaler a piece, and you will get paid first thing in the morning. And so you could say that you, on the way out, did whatever you needed to do to.
Yeah, in which case, probably a couple of herbal cures or something like that, just to push him, get him back up if
Okay.
anything goes wrong.
And so you can pool money, or you can roll a d6 and see how many potions, and you can decide what those are, and as long as they're within the kind of normal range of stuff, and you can figure that out as we go. You probably won't need them for a little bit. So you're going to meet Malgomar the first thing in the morning. It's fall. It's not too cold out, but it dawns relatively cool. It's a dark moon. It's the 8th of Tamal, and early fall. It's probably in the mid 40s, first thing in the morning. The light is wane, and you approach the Ordo Magica Tower. Leeromei, Bo, Lena, Degoi, Hadid. And as you approach the Ordo Magica Tower, there's not as many foot traffic. this early in the morning. There are goblins sweeping the streets and getting things clean, because that's what they do overnight. They get paid by the Thistle Hold to do such. And some of them are finishing up as you approach the Ordo Tower. And there's this young girl, probably 7, maybe 8. Obviously, she's a girl of the streets, child of the streets, and she is sitting up on the low wall of the tower. And she pops up on the wall and starts wandering over to you. Oi, you all are early. Glad I made it out here. You ready?
Are you here with the Ordo?
Oh, no. I'm taking you to meet him. That's why you put me here. He kind of looks over his shoulder and she goes, he doesn't want to meet you in the courtyard. Yeah, know what I mean?
They are being sneaky.
And she kind of winks at you. Yeah, but these Ordo guys, they don't know how to be sneaky. I mean, really, you don't think I've already sold that information? Well, you didn't hear that from me. Don't tell him.
The Ordo are too flashy to do anything quietly.
She nods at her head. She kind of looks you up and down and goes, you all don't look like Ordo, though.
Well, as we said, they're trying to be sneaky.
Okay, so she goes, okay, then, come on, follow me. But don't look like you're following me. You know, give me a few, shouldn't be hard. She kind of walks away and she puts out her hand. Just give me a thaler. Pretend I just gave you some information. She winks again. Everyone's watching, so pretend I just told you something important. Her hand is out.
Yeah, Lero sort of rolls his eyes, but will toss her a thaler.
She catches it. All right, then. You're here. She wanders off. I assume you all follow in some sort of gaggle.
We do.
Yeah.
You follow this, 7-year-old girl through the streets. Sometimes she makes it difficult on you just because she can. And you get a sense that she's just taking you around in a circle. And that you kind of hear her giggle a little bit at one point because, she's kind of sitting on this wall waiting for you. And you get a sense that she just took you in a big giant circle, and she kind of shrugs and got to have a little fun and jumps down off the wall and takes you down this alley. And you kind of come to this darkened alley along Queen Square, just outside of Corinthia Road. It's probably over here a little bit. You're kind of down here, down Queen Square, down the dark alley, and you approach, and those of you who have met Leeromei, Bo, and Guy Hadid, you see Leeromei kind of standing there. He's really tall, and next to him, there's this short, squat, it has to be Ordo, magician, probably with the big backpack, right, Master Emilio? Is that how much your writing equipment takes?
No, he's got a backpack and also a satchel.
Like in his hand, like a briefcase satchel kind of, or is it like just a slung over his shoulder satchel?
Yeah, it's the old satchel, the slung over
satchel. Okay. Yeah, so Master Emilio, you see this motley group, this little girl comes up and nods to Master Leeromei and looks at you and winks a little bit. She's almost as tall as you, and she's 7. She kind of smiles and puts out her hand, and Leeromei flicks, 4 or 5 thaler into the air, and she catches each one of them and nods, and off she goes down the alleyway. Master Emilio probably looks over your shoulder and sees her, and she stops for a minute, and you can see her and you would know as a lore master that to learn something, you really got to set it in your mind, and you can almost see this 7-year-old, this young street urchin girl setting in her mind this picture of Leeromei, this tall Ordo magician, and you, Master Emilio, and this other group, Bo, Leeromei, Guy Hadid, Degoi, Lena, in this darkened alley like the Ordo is meeting under auspices of, secrecy. As the group approaches Leeromei, he kind of looks at you and nods and says, good, then. And he looks at each one of you, and his eyes settle on Leeromei, who's wearing his mask, because he knows Bo and Leeromei, but he doesn't know these others. Who are these then? Mr. Bo? Sir Bo? I know this man here and this man here, guy, but these other two?
Right. They're other members of our gang.
Well, their fee comes out of your pocket then.
Maybe you can throw us a little extra coin.
That's not what we agreed upon. You, Leeromei, Guy Hadid. You can roll persuasion, Bo, and see if you can succeed in getting more Thaler out. Right. He's imperious. Like, he has that imperious. You immediately can tell. Everyone can see it. Even the man next to him. And he just
so close.
He just shakes his head, and he brings out his 3 kind of pouches, and he hands over 50 Thaler a piece, as we agreed. There's 150. You could split it around the other ones. He says it loud enough so that Lena and Degoi would hear it. Master Emilio hasn't realized how much they're getting paid. And then he looks down at Master Emilio and he goes, and you need to escort this Ordo magician out with you. He will accompany you to do an investigation.
Wait a minute. We don't act as bodyguards.
And he looks at him and he gets this little quirky smile and he says, well, look at him. Obviously, he can take care of himself. Master Emilio, do you say anything?
Master Emilio introduces himself and he says, I'm perfectly fine in the forest. I'm very learned. I know everything, I know all about the dangers of the forest. He seems very confident.
Bo just
I think
sighs.
Degoi would definitely look at Master Emilio and look at him and say, have you ever been to the forest?
Say that again. You're a little low. Can you say that again, please? Sorry.
I said, have you ever been to the forest?
No, I've never been to the forest. This will be my first expedition, but I've researched quite well.
Ah, yes. Research. I'm sure that will help you.
I turned to Bo. I think we need more money.
Yeah, well, maybe you can get some more money somehow. I'll split up my portion with everybody.
Yeah, the total take is 150 Thaler, just so you know.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's fair to split that.
So Leeromei says, okay then, all right then, all is settled. And he kind of flicks out this map. I'm going to put you on a map, the Ambria map, and kind of detail what possible plans for travel. He looks at you both and he says, there are 2 possible ways perhaps to get to the expedition. There's a road south and then west to Karun, and you could catch a flat bottom barge up the Elblis and on the eaves, the edge of the Malgomar River to the bridge camp right outside of Karvosti. Or the other option, and I leave this up to you as you have been in the forest many times, is to take the road from Thistle Hold to Karvosti that is close to Davokar. Can you all see that road? So yeah. You follow the forest on the edge, cut through where they're taking trees just north of Karun, and the path leads up through the forest to the bridge as it comes close to Davokar and ends at the bridge camp right before Karvosti. The path continues for Karvosti, but you do not need to go to Karvosti. You just follow the Malgomar, and he kind of points on it's kind of a small map, and he says there's a bend in the Malgomar, and the expedition is somewhere there, somewhere south of the bend, somewhere south of that rough water. The waterfalls around that bend right there is where the expedition heads south, and we have lost contact. And I leave the travel up to you. You know best of what to do the forest, either Kairun and a boat or barge, or travel the forest itself up the road to Karvosti. He looks at Master Emilio and says, Master, I hope to see you again. Luck.
Yes, we will be fine. Prios be with you.
I don't believe in Prelos. I'm an Ordo magician. Do you believe in Prelos?
Well, I see you had the look of a Prios fellow.
He kind of it's the first hit Master Emilio has done on Leeromei. That comment itself is like a barb or jab, and you see Leeromei lean back and then burble his lip. Master, I don't know if I like you. And he kind of turns around and starts stomping out through the alleyway. Doesn't even look back. Unlike,
I say, wait a minute. Does that mean we can leave him here?
And he just waves at you. Master Emilio could take care of himself. You hear him yell back. If you want to leave a Master of the Ordo here and enter Davokar without him, that's up to you. Disappears into Thistle Hold morning. So you're in the alleyway with Master Emilio. You've kind of given directions. You got this little map, and you have different routes that you may take to perhaps get to the bridge, Malgomar Bridge, right before Karvosti. What do you all talk about as you meet Master Emilio, and what would your plan be to trek and travel towards the lost expedition?
I think we'll follow the wood line and then take
Yeah.
the path.
So take the path.
Yep.
Reassured that this Ordo mage appreciates the good work of Prios guiding us. Lero will probably chat with him about just strike up a conversation about what he knows about the site that we're going to.
Master Emilio, what do you know of the site you're going to?
Well, so he tries to gain as much information from the party as he can, and after he digests the information, he will try to offer what he knows. Candidly, he doesn't really hold back.
Yeah, Malgomar didn't tell you much of anything. He just told you that there's a lost expedition. He didn't tell you what was there. He didn't tell you what they were looking for. He didn't tell you nothing. Master Emilio. And there's nothing written about it from Malgomar. So Master Emilio doesn't necessarily know what the expedition was doing. His information is that they just lost an expedition that was, investigating a, ancient tomb, but he has no idea of anything else, which makes sense to him. That they're sending an expedition to try to find out. It seems a little bit clandestine to be so secret about it. But they have lost contact. But he doesn't know anything about the expedition itself, or anything about the Copper Crown, or anything of that nature.
So Master Emilio is a little flustered and tries to explain that he really doesn't know much about the details of the expedition. Malgomar was not very forthcoming, And he says, "Yeah, I think Malgomar, was in a bad mood, so we'll have to go on with the information that we know."
So the group is in this alleyway with Master Emilio, the Ordo magician that's accompanying them to this site. They know that they're taking a copper crown. They probably know that the Ordo has sent this investigation to that area under very particular pretenses. Do they enlighten Master Emilio at this moment?
No, not yet.
It's reasonable. They probably would not.
Maybe when we're all stuck in the forest, we can talk about it. But
Okay.
this close to Thistle Hold, I don't trust an Order mage not to try and steal it.
Okay. So is everyone in agreement you're going to travel along the edge of the forest and then...
Could I just get a description of who?
Yeah, why don't you all
description?
Introduce your characters and then describe them. Bo, how about you go first? You're muted if you didn't know.
Bo is well dressed, bald, very clean shaven except for a small beard. And he kind of carries himself with an arrogance, I would say. Lightly armored, fencing sword and shield. It's pretty straightforward, I would say.
Yeah, he looks very well dressed. Leeromei, what does Leeromei look like? What would Master Emilio see past that mask he's wearing?
It's Lero is a very much a character dressed in the they are recognizably the robes of a Theurge, but
Is he an elf? Is he an elf?
no. I assume
You got an elf picture.
it's not an elf picture; it's a changeling picture.
Oh,
Which, yeah, are technically elves.
so does he look like an elf now, or does he look like a human still?
Is he wearing his mask?
Leeromei is wearing like most Theurges, he wears a mask quite often, but I assume during the travel, Emilio will see him without it, and he is noticeably not human, but definitely a young changeling. So he's only recently started to grow pointy ears and things like that. What do you know about changelings in human society, just out of interest?
Is he armored? Does he wear robes?
He wears as I said, he's dressed in the robes of a Theurge, but they're reinforced for adventuring things. So rather than a priest's cassock, it's
very interesting.
a monk setup thing where he has trousers rather than long flowy robes and stuff. But yeah, changelings, they grow up looking human for the first 18 years of their life but when they become adults, they start to look like elves. So he still has quite a lot of human features, and He talked a very clear Ambrian dialect. Yeah. Very crisp and proper, and he was probably brought up in quite a fancy place.
Okay, good.
I think Master Emilio, your level of lore master, you'd probably know what a changeling is just by looking at Leeromei. The level of your reading and lore master ability, there's not much that you would miss behind that mask.
Yeah, if it's academic or written down, which is a big if, the Master Emilio
I
has
think
a good chance of knowing it.
Yeah, I think changelings are are fairly well known. It's not their secret. It's not a small matter. It's fairly well known throughout Ambria and at least the barbarian culture too. So I think it's pretty common knowledge to someone like you who reads a lot. Perhaps it's not common knowledge in the general, but I think Master Emilio would know right away.
Yeah. Changelings have been around ever since there were humans
Right.
in Davokar.
And how about Degoi?
So Degoi is obviously Embrian, comes from noble stock, so he has that kind of noble features, clean cut, nicely trimmed. He's not overly flamboyant in his clothing. It's a very dark toned clothing, and carries two weapons, two swords, a parrying dagger or parrying sword and a fencing sword. And that's pretty much about it. He's very tight-lipped. He doesn't really talk much. When he does, he tries to make a profound statement, and he's always looking around, like always. What's the word? Evaluating.
I think that for Ambrians.
Right. 4 Ambrians. And then how about Lena?
Lena is an Ambrian, and she had a bow and arrow, and she's always on the lookout and checking around things in her corner.
She's probably on the
and
lookout now.
Yes, and as a side note, Degoi is always pining for Lena's attention.
Which he rarely gets.
Rarely. In fact, I think Lena goes out of her way to like sabotage Degoi, such as the tavern.
And Guy Jadid is an NPC.
Guy Hadid is, he's a kind of smaller, swarthy looking fellow. He dresses and he has his hood put up. You kind of see his eyes shift around now and then. And he keeps a low profile. Even when they were talking to Malgomar, he's kind of tucked in, maybe behind even Degoi. You probably don't even see that he's there at first. And then you see Guy Hadid. He's a human Ambrian. He has a thin sword. He's dressed in leathers, but he has his hood all the way up and tightly around his face. And you see his eyes shift around a little bit, like he's watching down the alleyways, and he sees a little bit furtive. But he just kind of mentions his name. Yeah, I'm Guy. Nice to meet you, Master. And but he's otherwise keeps quiet to himself. He is smaller, kind of thinner man. His weapons are kind of well kept. Are kind of show you what he looks like. And he's tucked in behind Degoi, maybe between Degoi and Lena, and he kind of maybe peeks out a little bit and then peeks back in. At the moment, he's been being pretty quiet and not drawing a lot of attention to himself. And he's been quiet. The group would know that he's been quiet, oddly quiet, this whole time. And you already described Master Emilio, correct? Would you like to do it again, what they would see, or shall we go on what you did before?
So you see a fat, bald scholarly man. He is about medium height. Well, but because he's stout, he seems shorter. He's got a bald egg-shaped head, a big bulbous red nose, oddly placed ears, and most noticeable are his spectacles. He wears thick wire-worn spectacles that make his eyes look as big as eggs.
All right. So you're going to go out the west gate of Thistle Hold along the edge of the forest towards the known road or path to Karvosti, around Jakar, over what's called these giant stepping stones of the Ianor River. Let's take like 5 minutes, get a drink and stretch a little bit and come back, okay?
Okay.
Anyone have
Yep.
any questions before we do that?
Nope.
All right.
Nope. Well,
Mhm. Let me know if you're back.
I'm back.
I am back.
I'm back.
I think that's everyone. So you leave Thistle Hold in the morning. Master Emilio, Bo, Leeromei, Guy Hadid follows quietly. Degoi and Lena. You travel west along the edge of the forest. The land is pretty easy. There is somewhat of a path, obviously, because the road ends at a Davokar a number of days westward. So there is a traveled path, kind of like the company had come from the east through by the tower. You travel along this road. It's going to take about 2 days, give or take, to get to the road head that starts to go into the forest in Davokar. Aside from those 2 days, what do you all talk about? Or is it just a march?
Well, Master Emilio probably gets annoyed because Bo spends a lot of time talking about himself.
What does he say aside from extol his virtues?
He probably talks about his exploits.
Any ones particular or just all of them?
All of them.
What
Like
what
heroic exploits? Exploits?
Yeah.
what's his favorite? What's Bo's most favorite exploit he thinks is, the mark of his mastery?
Good question.
Anything specific he would tell Master Emilio to impress him?
No, I would think he would just talk about all of his experiences just to show how well traveled and how well experienced he is.
Would he mention the winter wife?
He would, and he would probably mention when dealing with those, I would be very cautious. And then I kind of look at Leeromei.
Master Emilio, do you have any questions about what he means by cautious or why he looks at Leeromei? There's an exchange between them about this thing they call the winter wife.
Yeah, what is this winter wife? Amelia presses on with a lot of curiosity as an academic.
She is a spirit of the ruins that will take your life force.
What does Bo mean by
Fascinating, fascinating.
Yeah. What does Bo mean by take your life force?
He probably doesn't explain it.
What did
We
she
only
do?
see-
What
we
did
only
she do
see
to
the
Bo?
witch.
Yeah, what did she do to
We only
Bo?
see the witch.
She would convince you to go against what you believe and maybe act in a way you normally would not act. She tries to take control of your mind.
Master Emilio. That sounds familiar. What do you make of that when he tells you about it? Would you
He
come? Would
says,
you?
that sounds like a Master Emilio nods his head and says, that sounds like wizardry.
Does he respond in any other way? As he
No,
knows what this is.
Master Emilio doesn't know much about this expedition, so he's trying to find out as much as he
Okay.
can. about the expedition. Along the way, he talks about Agralia and sort of like the uh, esoteric information about Davokar, about the fauna, about the geology, rocks.
He just
A lot of rocks, information about rocks.
goes on and on with information.
That's rocks and dirt, different types of trees.
Bo probably interrupts often to talk about himself.
So you reach this first night at the edge of Davokar. You're about halfway there to the road head. You know, at the road head, there's like a logging camp and, big fires, easy place to, rest before you head into Davokar. It's a major site kind of logging for Kerun. And then they, transport back and forth. As night falls on this kind of second night, how would you guys go about watch? Or what would you talk to Master Emilio about the forest and overnight watch while you're on the edge of kind of Davokar?
Did we figure out what elixirs we purchased?
You can choose if you would like.
Picked up 2 elixirs of life.
Okay.
Seems like a pretty safe thing to get.
What
You-
would we each have? Gene?
You each can buy 2 or 3 potions or elixirs. You have plenty of cash on your way out of Thistle Hold. You have 150 thaler. As a group, you can decide. Master Emilio, you picked up 2 potions of life. Would you make that common knowledge? Is that like an offering?
Yes. He said he picked up 2 elixirs of life, and he says it should help us when we get into combat.
Okay. The group, if they want, each of you can put 2 elixirs on your sheet. There's not very many on there that you need to stay away from, aside from things. If you have a question like the wrath dust, obviously that isn't there. So the most common ones would be, or other things like acid, elixir of life, herbal cure obviously is important.
I would purchase war paint.
War paint.
That's in the advanced.
Yeah. Okay. Does anyone else have questions about what they would get before they left?
Lyra just grabbed a few herbal cures,
Okay.
but would Bo have been able to get any concentrated magic?
Where is that in the regular book?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
It looks pretty commonplace.
Yeah, it's a crazy low thaler, so I think so.
Because the amount of times you failed your retribution in the forest.
I think so. I mean, it's not that costly. It seems pretty common. Concentrated magic as an action to use.
I don't know what everybody else would purchase.
Yeah. What gear do you guys need?
Lena and Degoi, do you have any requests?
Oh,
Well, I don't think gear wise, I don't need anything outside of healing, which if we're buying 2 potions, I should be all right, especially with Lena trying to heal me.
I would also heal 2 toughness for the last 2 days. Some of you are low to begin with. If you would have bought a health elixir and used it on the way out, you might want to do that before you left the gate.
Yep.
That's probably more important for Degoi. I'd hate for you to die because you didn't attend to that like you might necessarily do. But you would have healed two anyways.
Yeah, you oh, you were low. Wait, which way round are your health bars?
Yeah, it's hard to figure out, but I'm currently 11 out of 19 with that healing potion and 2 static kills.
Wait, so is your top bar your
Yeah, the
on
top
your
bar.
It's health,
token?
right?
My bottom bar is health.
Oh, so what's your top bar?
The top bar is corruption. So that's the way it says on the. So bar 1 is your bottom bar. Bar 2 is your top bar on the prototype token thing.
Ours is the other
Unless
way
you-
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some people's might be the other way around. It just depends on how you set it up.
No, you're the only one that is the other way around.
Yeah.
Very confusing. But yeah, do you need more healing, don't you?
Yeah, I could use a heal. One good heal would be good. All right, that's 3.
Wait, we have 2 people who lay on hands in this party.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other
You got
party
3
has.
actually.
Has 0.
Okay.
And after next session, I'll have like a group heal for everyone.
So we all good then?
Okay. Yep, we're good.
Okay.
Thanks,
That would-
Leroy.
I would take 1 concentrated magic. Does anybody want elemental essence?
What does that do?
Maybe acid?
What was it again?
Acid? You could pick your element. Fire, cold, acid, or lightning.
In the core book.
Yeah, and it's a what it does is you can put it on any weapon or 4 throwing weapons or arrows and bolts, all your arrows and bolts. And it does 1d4
okay.
1d4 damage extra for the scene. And then it's expired.
I'd say give it to the archer, Lena.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have to walk out of the city, with it put onto the arrows. I mean, she might want to save it.
Does it go away after a certain amount of time?
One scene.
Well,
Yeah, it lasts 1 scene, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
an effect you apply for.
we could always buy multiple doses. I'll buy 1 concentrated magic.
I'll pick up some. I'll pick up a bunch of concentrated magic.
And war paint.
Did the Ordo give us food ahead of this journey?
No, the Ordo only gave you Thaler. Why is it kidding
Wait,
you out? It's giving you money to do like their job. That's your responsibility. It gives you a coin. You do what you need the coin to get the job done.
sounds like way
You can
bread.
buy.
Yeah,
you can
way
buy
bread.
lay bread. That's just $1. 7 days worth of food.
Right. It doesn't taste very well, but isn't that what the
And then
Hobbit
we do got
said?
it. We got a hunter as well. So.
Lembus, yeah.
This is starting to feel like a forbidden land scam.
Yeah, just
We-
a quick preparation shopping trip.
Right. Okay, anything else then?
Nope.
All right. So you're in the second night, like halfway through, along the edge of the forest. How would the party normally go about, setting up camp? What would the kind of normal watch be? Who would take watch? I mean, does Master Emilio take watch?
Master Emilio could take watch, but his eyesight is terrible. It's flat out terrible.
Would he offer to take watch?
He
Yeah,
will offer to take watch, but he's
You admit that to the party that you have terrible eyesight?
No, he doesn't admit it, but you could
Oh.
tell. You could tell, like when he takes off his glasses, he bumps into things, and he's tripped many times out when he on the road. He
Yeah.
enthusiastically volunteers to take watch.
Is it like a thing where we just look at each other like, don't trust him to do this?
Right. Emilio, just make sure you get your rest.
Very well.
I'll take first watch. I don't know if we want to do 2 people per watch.
I mean, I guess we could, right?
Yeah, I mean,
2
if we do
watches
it
in the
2
night.
shifts, yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious, so that when we do this, like you have 2 watches and it's usually, Lena and Degoi first or Bo and Lero second, or, that sort of thing. Master Emilio wants to watch, but you guys probably say, it's okay, Master, you can rest. It's been a long hike. So as long as there's 2 watches, everyone gets rest and would regain one hit point or one sort of thing as we travel. Who would take first and second watch?
I'm taking first.
Okay.
Yeah, Lero will go on second just because I think it's worth having someone with mystical abilities on each watch.
Okay. So Bo's on first, Lero's on second. Anyone else?
Begrudgingly, Degoi, now that Lero's talking about second watch, he was going to try to get in with Lena on second watch, but I understand, needs of the party. I'll go on first watch with Bo.
Okay. Does Lena take watch at all, or is she just going to sleep?
She'll take second.
Okay. Master Emilio,
Hey,
go ahead. I'm listening.
did I ever figure out what that those crystals were? I have 3 crystals written down, but nothing ever.
No, our circle back. We're saying maybe
Okay.
you did try to investigate, and I will make a roll and see if you found anything. Master Emilio, Bo, and Degoi are taking first watch, and Lena and Leeromei are taking the second watch. I know they don't want you to watch, and you have poor eyesight behind those big glasses. Do you stay up anyways?
He tries to stay up. He tries to stay up. Oh,
Try-
he has a spear instead of a staff. He has a spear, which seems somewhat dangerous. It seems somewhat risky in his hands.
It's a normal size spear too, right? It's like
It's a long spear. It's a long spear. So.
really tall above his head. So he's gonna try to stay up. Then that's what I hear. Like he wants to stay up, but you're not
Yeah,
certain.
he tries to be a good teammate.
Okay.
I would probably push the spear away from my face. Like I could just picture him like carelessly walking around with a spear.
The head of the spear moves a little bit too much than it's supposed to. Master Emilio, why don't you make a strong test and see if you stay up this first watch, since you're trying hard to stay up. Yeah. Bo and Degoi are on watch, and Master Emilio, you might be there trying to stay up while you're around the campsite, and you just nod off to sleep. Probably leaning up against, a big tree or something with your spear, and you're out asleep as watch goes. The first watch goes out with, out of hitch, and Bo and Degoi probably wake up Leeromei and Lena. Master Emilio is asleep on his side with the spear. Leeromei and Lena, do you wake up the master? He really wanted to be on watch. Doesn't look like he made it, though.
Mainly because we don't actually know him too well yet. Lero wouldn't.
Reasonable.
Yeah, he's still in the air quotes pliant compartment of socialization rather than
Okay. Lena, I don't expect you to wake up Master Emilio, but what does she? Has she taken a liking to him, or does she wake him up just because it would be fun?
No, I'll just leave them and sleep.
Okay. So
Lena will be kind.
All right. So Lena and Leeromei are up if they both can make me a vigilant roll at -3.
oops.
Wow. Look at those watchers. Leeromei, you smell it first. Or maybe you hear a little snapping and then you smell it. The scent of fur, maybe a low growl. Lena probably sees shapes come loping out of the forest towards you in a relatively rapid fashion. What would you all do as the others are sleeping?
I think now we do wake up Emilio.
Okay.
Do we let them sleep?
Okay, so he immediately wakes up.
Leeromei wakes him up. Maybe he's halfway thinking about waking him up, but he's already touching him. Neither Lena or Leeromei kind of know what's coming at him. It's in the dark. They probably have a fire, at least because it's fall or light of some nature. I leave that up to you. You know
the
that
headlamp is turned on.
Oh yeah, your mask is turned on. You're swiveling it around with this beam of light out there, but you really can't catch them really quickly. They're you just catch their silhouette, as three of them come kind of loping out of the edge of the forest. One of them stops and looks up around as this light kind of shines all over the place, and makes this kind of growling sound. And the other two stop. They're probably 100 yards, 90 meters away. And this is kind of their outline. It's dark outside your
They're friend-shaped.
Outside your light. Lear may eventually perhaps shine the light of his mask, but it's kind of far, and it disperses a little bit. And these things shy away, like they move as soon as Leeromei tries to like pinpoint them. You see them move and circle around the party a little bit. What does Master Emilio do as he wakes up and kind of staggers up to a stand and peers out into the distance, which he can't see anything because his eyesight is terrible?
So he like crouches down and asks the other two, "What's going on?" He says, I don't see anything. Is there anything out there?"
Uh, they look almost like. Is it Jakar's the wolf one?
Yeah, there's a number of wolf-like animals, everything from a marcat to a jakar to a wolf to, that sort of thing. You can tell that they're big. Their head and their shoulders are at least taller than Master Emilio. You can't tell if it's, a wild jakar or a wolf. It's difficult to see, their coloration is really dark. And so you're not certain. You know they go, on 4 legs and they're moving really swift. They got a fairly big tail. They're very large. You don't expect it's a kotka, which both Leeromei and Bo know is a far southern kind of lion or cat. They definitely look wolf type form.
Yeah, I'd let Emilio know that we've some wolf beasts near the camp. Just wanted to make sure you were awake and didn't get carried off.
Are they dangerous?
They're probably hungry.
Okay, so Emilio tries to move it back towards the fire and stays behind the other two.
Okay. And they appear out of the darkness, growling. Kind of, they're smart and they're separated. They widely circle. You see one of them look back and make a yipping sound, and there's just a moment of motionless before all of them drop their head and then come streaming in towards you as fast as they can. I'll put you 3 in initiative with it while the other 2 are sleeping.
Oh, fast.
Yes, they are. Emilio, you see these things come rushing at you. You're kind of tucked in behind Leeromei and Lena. You can barely see them. They're huge. They're taller than you are, at least their shoulders. One comes in from one side, another comes in the other side. One and they're just absolutely a blur. You just hear them and see them, and all of a sudden there's these huge shapes growling and biting at Leeromei and Lena. What would Master Emilio do as he sees this onslaught coming?
So he could see them, right? He could.
Yeah,
see
they're
them
just
now?
this huge shapes, though. I'm just curious what he would do. Right now, he's not necessarily in danger, but depending on what he does, he could be in danger. What does he do as these giant shapes rush in at them?
He's gonna as a free action shout
Okay,
and wake up the other guys.
but stay in his position at the moment.
Yes.
Okay. So let's do this as you're in this campfire.
Yeah, you know what? He's gonna move back. He's gonna move back. He's gonna. Is there a tactical map?
Not really.
Yeah, he'll try to move back behind Bo and Diego.
Okay. You're gonna step over them and maybe go through the backside of the camp.
And sort of like tap him.
Okay.
Yeah, don't disturb our slumber.
As you're moving, you're gonna wake up Bo and Degoi, and get behind them as these giant forms come out of the
Yes,
forest. Okay.
that's right.
I just wanted to see how much danger he was going to be in. And so, Master Emilio, we'll let you do that on your turn. I was just curious as far as positioning and what they would do. So they attack. 1 to 2 is Leeromei, and 3 to 4 is Lena.
Lero would have been standing closer towards them than Lena.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, Leeromei. They're coming in.
Yeah.
They're predatory animals that are attacking you from 3 different sides. They're not close, and so whoever they decide to focus on is where the extra attack goes. One of you're going to get at least one of attack on either side. That's Leeromei. Yay.
I have a sword with the long property.
Okay.
I don't think wolves have long weapons.
No,
so
they are, but let me see. They do have a different ability. Oh no, they just have that. No. Oh, okay. So you miss as it comes in. It's just so fast, so large, so quick. It's,
Yep.
one of those things that they're predatory. So they will, oops, what are all those? How come you're doing all those attacks?
The backhand is a reaction to missing an attack.
It's the iron fisted.
No, two-handed force.
Can you add that to a reactionary actionary attack?
I think so. You do a reaction, like anything that triggers the reaction, you do. But it doesn't actually matter because I missed both of the attacks on the first wolf. And it was the standard attack against the second wolf that actually hit.
Because it's 11 damage. All right, so I'm going to move that off as the one attacks you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one attacks Lena. Oops.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, Lena, they don't do second attacks, so it bowls you over. Standing right on top of you, this huge wolf just kind of bowls you over and knocks you down. Master Emilio, as you're kind of running through with your movement action and waking up Bo and Degoi, you turn around as you get behind Bo and Degoi. You see Lena get knocked over by this giant wolf-like form. What does my fault. I should begin this part. That's what you see. Leeromei, what do you do as Lena is bowled over?
I try and get rid of the wolf that is on top of me now.
Okay.
Just so that I can move in and help her out. I'm going to do the standard, try and activate Witch Hammer first. Yeah. Right. Because I need that extra damage. I would like to spend an XP to reroll that.
Sure.
That is miserable.
All right.
But I accept it.
So you attack this other wolf that's growling and trying to bear you down as Lena is knocked down to her feet. down to her knees and takes this severe bite across her shoulder. Lena, you're prone, kind of flat on the ground. If you want to get up,
Yeah.
you got to roll a quick test, or it uses your full action. You can stay on the ground and arrow jab, but then you can't get up, and you will be prone, and it will have advantage on you. Okay, so you can use your movement action and to stand.
Mm.
And what do is you stand up with this huge wolf-like creature over you. You're been bitten hard and are bleeding down one shoulder. A little bit of trickle comes down your pinky finger. What does Lena do?
Lena will move far away from the enemies.
You can disengage. It will get to attack you as you run. But you could use your you could use your other action to do a double move. It does get to attack you as you leave melee combat. Okay?
Can Lena do the unnoticeable?
Oh, say it again. Can Lena do what? Unnoticeable. Yes, you can make yourself unnoticeable as an action, because that is an action. So you could do a resolute versus resolute to that giant wolf as your action this round. You stand up and you can employ or try to employ unnoticeable. So you would just roll a resolute and then target the wolf and choose its resolute and roll against it and see if you can fade from its eyes. Whew. Yeah, Lena, it doesn't see you. You see it standing over you. You stand up and you use unnoticeable, and its head shifts around as if you have disappeared from it. Its huge nose maybe even brushes across your forearm, but it no longer sees you as you're standing there. Master Emilio, you go through the camp, waking up Degoi and Bo, kind of get behind them. You turn around. You see Lena knock down and then stand up, and then she just stands there. Leeromei has dispatched one of the giant forms. What does Master Emilio do with his other action?
With his combat action, he's got long on his spear, so he's gonna attack.
Yeah, he could probably
try
do
to
it.
attack. He's gonna try to attack.
Okay. So you could target. You got long action, the one next to Leeromei.
I say reminder because it keeps happening. Long isn't like reach from 5e. You do have to still be in melee to.
Oh, you'd have to move back, Master Emilio.
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I don't have my range weapon. Okay, I'll just wait my turn.
Okay.
I'll just set my spear.
Okay. So the one next to Leeromei is obviously still engaged with Leeromei, so it attacks Leeromei. Its huge growling form tries to knock you over, and it attacks you, Leeromei, biting and growling. And just seems to miss. the other one, I will say one is Leeromei. Master Emilio, are you standing behind Bo and Degoi?
Yes.
All
Of
right.
course he is.
Of course he is. I'm gonna put you behind him then. One is Leeromei, 2 to 3 is Degoi, and well, yeah. 1 is Leeromei, 2 to 3 is Degoi, and 4 is Bo. For whatever reasons, 3. So, Lena, you feel the wolf move past you. You are technically in melee, but it doesn't see you. It actually kind of probably even runs into you or brushes past you. Feel its huge form go past you. Do you let it go right past you towards Degoi without doing anything? If you do anything,
Yeah.
it's going to... Okay, yes.
Yeah,
You just...
Lena will let it go to the.
Yeah, Lena, Degoi just sees Lena turn and just let the wolf, like, there you go. Have my friend instead. And the wolf moves past Lena and attacks Degoi. Degoi, you don't have any reactions that you can use ahead of time.
Ahead of time? No.
Just making sure. I didn't think so, but so the giant hunger wolf attacks you, Degoi. And it just seems to miss. Leeromei, you're standing there. You see Lena step aside and just let the wolf go right past her towards Degoi. The wolf doesn't seem to see her at all. What do you do, Leeromei?
Beyond contemplating the fact that Lena is actively trying to kill Degoi, I'm going to carry on
Okay.
whacking this wolf.
Some people show love in a weird way.
Degoi will just hang on to that. Just hang on to it. Lena loves me. That's why she's letting me fight the wolf.
There we go.
All right.
And then I'll help. I'll go to help Degoi.
Okay.
Wow, that's crazy damage.
Your move. Bo, you see Leeromei, having all the glory. Really, you've told Master Emilio a whole lot of stories, but really, as Master Emilio is watching, you're just getting to stand up and, the fight's almost over. What does Bo do?
I would probably leap in front of those guys and attack.
Okay.
Right click or left click.
Double right.
I got it.
Okay. Master Emilio, you see the terribleness of Leeromei. Just a mass of damage and blood. These huge giant wolves. You see the wolf just move by Lena, and she just kind of steps aside as she's not there, and it attacks Degoi. And then Bo kind of lunges over, jumps over, the sleeping area past you. What does Master Emilio do? As there's just one of them left.
I guess he'll steal his courage and go in for an attack with his spear.
Okay, you can do that. It's probably just more of a movement action to go around Bo and kind of end up here and enter melee. And you can make an attack against the hunger wolf. What does that look like, Master Emilio, as you take the spear that's, almost twice your size and
He emits a war cry that kind of breaks. Doesn't sound very heroic, and he trips. He nearly trips, and spears one of the guys in the front.
the ground goes into the ground.
Almost spears one of the guys.
Right.
Other guys.
I don't have you roll against your company mates unless you have a 20. Yeah, you drive the spear into the ground. You make this war cry. Maybe it's like almost like a 12-year-old boy's voice breaking. It just breaks
Yes,
off.
it sounds like a boy's voice breaking.
And completely miss the hunger wolf. Degoi, you see this happen. Master Emilio kind of moves over next to Bo. You got Leeromei on one side, Bo on the other side. You look past Bo, you see Master Emilio enter. You probably hear it first. What does Degoi do?
Shaking his head and says, "Somebody get that guy out of here. Take the spear away." As I move to flank.
Yeah, you don't have to. Like everyone's kind of, you got advantage because Leeromei is there, Master Emilio is there, even if he missed, and Bo is there. So you do get advantage. You don't have to flank as 5e rules.
Okay.
Boy, that's some poor rolling, huh?
I know, right? Like, could we have rolled any lower?
Right. So, the
Yeah, but
the hunger
Just-
wolf is kind of surrounded by everyone, and we're gonna leave it up to fate to see if he realizes that, or she realizes she needs to move, which is likely, or just is too stressed and discombobulated with everyone who starts attacking her from all angles. So it breaks Leeromei, Degoi, and Master Emilio and Bo. As it breaks, Master Emilio, you get to free attack as it's breaking from melee. I don't think it has acrobat. Oh, yeah, it does have acrobatics. Let me make a quick roll. Nope. Yeah, it breaks. It literally bounds over you, Master Emilio. As your spear goes into the ground and you make that war cry, it jumps over Master Emilio because Master Emilio is practically shorter than its haunches, and jumps over Master Emilio and then just starts running out into the darkness. And combat is over. Does anyone do anything as the wolf runs away? There's probably no way you're going to catch it.
Okay, Lena catch it.
You might be able to shoot at it, Lena, as it's running. It would be difficult. I would give you disadvantage or disfavor if you want to take a last shot at it with your bow. You could roll your bow a single shot at disfavor and see if you catch it as it's running into the dark. It's so fast and so dark that you might be able to get it. But if you like to roll a disfavor, you can. Very good rolls, though, Lena. Very good. You see Lena's, you hear the arrow, Mr. Emilio, probably goes right by you, just above your head. And it hits the wolf in the back, but Lena can see that it must have hit the fur in a particular way. It just didn't stick. Maybe hit along the side of the giant wolf form and kept going forward past the front of its haunch and didn't really connect with it. Does anyone else have any action they could take while the wolf is running away, or that they would like to
No.
do? Okay.
No. Lero is a melee boy.
Master Emilio, do you have anything you would like to do or could think that you would want to do as it's running away?
No, he's just waits, just make sure, just sets a spear just in case.
Okay. You get your spear, it's in your hand out of the ground and turn around and it's, gone. This huge form is gone. You saw it leap right over your head. And you probably read a lot about hunger wolves, but never seen one in person. What does Master Emilio think about the first time he's seen a hunger wolf?
So
Yes.
when the battle ends and things look safe, he immediately takes out his notebook and opens his ink pot and dampens his quill and starts taking notes. Notes about what he saw and what he remembered. It's all very fascinating for him. He just basically ignores everything else.
Say just stick with your note taking.
That's how you become smart, Bo.
I'm surprised Bo hasn't walked over there and tried to like spell out his name for him.
All right. The rest of the night is relatively uneventful. Master Emilio makes some notes and go ahead, I'm listening.
I was gonna say like Diego and Bo should go back to sleep.
Eventually, Diego and Bo.
I would actually kind of yell at Master Emilio. I'd be like, when we're on watch, unless something seems really, really bad, you don't need to wake us up. Next time.
Master Emilio, you don't need to wake up Degoi unless it's really, really bad. Really, really bad.
And give him a shout if he's about to be eaten. But otherwise...
If Lena and Leeromei go down, then you wake up Degoi.
Don't forget Bo.
Oh, well, Bo would probably get up on his own.
Yeah, he probably gets up on his own, but if he goes down, then I still have a chance to run.
Mm-hmm.
But so you must wake me up before Lena goes down.
Does Degoi, do you say anything to Lena, seeing that she just left the wolf pass her right by, knowing that she left the bar with the money and left you there?
Oh no, I totally expect that from Lena. That's how she shows her affection towards me. I even gave her a wink, right before. I'm like, yes, thank you, Lena. I am your shield. I am your sword.
So all we have to do to get Degoi to wake up is put Lena in danger. Maybe Master Emilio woke you up because Lena was awake and you were not.
True.
So the morning dawns, and you break camp. It's the 9th of Tomal. A new quarter moon is shining just in the morning.
Do we actually have dates?
Yeah, we have dates in the calendar.
Oh, I didn't know.
Does it not pop open for you every time you load the room?
No, I don't even see it.
Oh yeah, he probably just doesn't have it on the thing. It's running. Right now it says 6 in the morning on the 9th of Tomal. So you wake up on the 9th of Tomal. It's, an early fall day. It's somewhat chilly. The fire has kind of died down and you can continue west. You reach the base, probably, of the road that's going to turn north, mostly north, a little bit northwest, but eventually north. There's like a little post and, a crude kind of sign just with an arrow. Just the sign is pointing that direction, but, and like maybe one letter that says K. Probably someone wrote it like Bo that, this is the way to Karvosti. And you see the beginning of the trail and the road, and there's ruts in the road from wagon wheels, and there's old draft animal poop and along the way. And you enter the early part of the forest of Davokar. Oops, let me get the thing. And about there. So you're kind of in the early part of the forest of Davokar, and you're walking through the forest, and ahead of you see a fairly large group, maybe 7, 5, 6, 7 men, couple women walking through. They look like treasure hunters, are kind of pushing each other around and laughing at each other as they approach you, and they kind of hail you. Brothers, Ambrians, going in the forest. They look at Master. Oh, look it. And you've brought your own magician. Lucky you.
Degoi would scoff really loud.
It's what they're paying us for.
Oh. He looks at Master. Perhaps you hire us, Master. You get rid of these folk. Look at them. We're the real stuff.
Oh, he asks what where they're going and what their business is.
Well, we're headed back to Thistle Hold. That's what, men and women like us who are fortunate do. He kind of chinkles this big kind of pouch of money. Chink, 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 chink. They all kind of laugh. One of them shoves them. A little bit of whispers going on. Why don't you come back to
declines
this?
their offer.
Oh,
Declines it. Thank you for your offer, but this is a very capable group.
he kind of looks him over and says, they kind of look capable, but I leave it up to you, Master. I leave it up to you. But if you find yourself alone out there and dragging back towards Thistle Hold, barely holding up to life, you look up Budo. Look up Budo, and if you want a proper group, we can be your guides. And he kind of looks at you and, good luck, brothers. Don't die out there.
Very good, very good.
Don't
Do
worry, that
well.
won't happen. He won't be looking you up.
Yeah, you just kind of get ribbing as this big group walks by you. Fake snarls and laughter, and there's a fair number of them. They don't look road weary, actually. There's no wounds on them. They don't have blood on them. They don't appear to be weary. They actually appear kind of fresh, really, just like they walked out at Thistle Hold, coming down the road from Karvosti. And you continue on throughout the day through the forest. Master Emilio, you just get a hint of being underneath the canopy of this Davokar. You're just at the edge, so there is still light there, but every now and then you enter into the faded gray underneath Davokar. You feel the weight of the forest above you. There may be very small sections just in this edge of Davokar where the light is completely blocked out, and it's almost like twilight as you're underneath there and you're stepping over this path, which is easy to go. Leeromei, Bo, and the others who have been in Davokar proper, this is easy traveling. You're on kind of flat ground that's been cleared, but every now and then the trees are over the top of the path. What does Emilio feel when the first time he enters Davokar, having read so much about it?
So Master Emilio is fascinated. This is all a scholar's dream. So he tries to match many of the things that he learned in his in his scholarly studies to what he actually sees. It's all very interesting and fascinating to him. He's sort of like somewhat careless as he marches along.
Careless. Yeah, this isn't even bright Davokar, Master Emilio. This is just the edge of really the tip, the edge, the skin atop of Davokar, this kind of borderline. You haven't even really entered bright Davokar, but you get a feeling of it. And it probably would be something he's read about, but he would be a little bit mistaken. He's not really in danger yet. And near the middle of the day or so, you see a wagon and a woman and maybe two teenagers in the distance. There's a figure on the ground that's propped up against this wagon that looks like one of the wheels is slightly off. And there maybe in the distance, you come out of the trees a little bit into kind of open area as you progress, and it's going to get darker here. It's almost near night, and you see this kind of wagon in the distance. Who's in the lead, and what does the party do?
It's just stop there. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Looks like it. It's probably 150 yards. The trail, it opens up a little bit. You're kind of maybe out, exiting the edge of the forest a little bit in this area where it's brighter. There's sparse trees as the edge of the forest kind of goes up north a little bit, and part of the path dips through that little bit of a valley, little bit of a dip in the land where it's, grass, high brown grass, but you're kind of following the path that has been tamping down, and you see this wagon kind of in the open, in the sunlight, the last bit of sunlight of day.
Degoi slips off the path and dips into the shadows.
Okay. The Goy is in the shadows along the edge of the forest. Lena, what do you do?
Thinking.
Okay. So you do like the Goy following him into the forest?
No, I just don't have a.
She knows the routine.
She knows the routine. Yeah, let the Goy go into trouble and pick up the coins and then leave. Bo, you see this kind of cart that's, one of the wheels is slightly off. It's a cart that you would kind of pull behind, a person would pull behind, or people would pull behind, not put onto a draft animal, about 150 yards or, 120 meters or so in front of you. What does Bo do as he's standing there with Leeromei and Degoi and Lena kind of slink off into the shadows?
I would move to the opposite side, but I wouldn't go into the shadows. I would just kind of go off.
Like a 45-degree angle into the high grass?
Yeah, maybe just maybe like 2 or 3 yards off the main path.
Okay. Leeromei, Degoi, and Lena get into the shadows on the right. Bo goes to the left a little bit at an angle, and you're looking straight down the path about 150 yards, 120 meters, and you see this wagon with obviously an adult and two smaller figures and another figure kind of sitting up against one of the wagon wheels, and the other wagon wheels kind of you can see is not necessarily on the axle as well. What do you do as you're standing there with you and just Master Emilio?
Why does everyone just immediately run away when they see things? So weird. Lero is gonna, with the face torch, approach the wagon,
Okay.
scanning it over to
Okay.
see if it looks like an ambush.
All right. Master Emilio, what do you think about this? Like, you haven't been in the forest before. You're with all these people. All of a sudden, they see this wagon with people and two youngsters, and someone laying against the wagon. One of the wheels off, and immediately Degoi and Lena go into the shadows. Bo takes a left-hand turn and goes around this other way, for the wagon. Leeromei starts walking forward to the wagon. What does Master Emilio think when he watches all this from maybe the middle or behind the group, trudging along with his tall spear, and Leeromei starts taking the front straight ahead?
So as Master Emilio is studying the cheese, the group suddenly bolts into action and takes him by surprise. So Emilio is somewhat still confused. So he just grabs the spear, goes into a crouch, and starts creeping up the road.
Behind Leeromei. Yeah, that's probably how it looks, Master Emilio. You're creeping along behind Leeromei in a partial crouch with your spear out. Leeromei comes up to the wagon. Lena and Degoi are nowhere to be seen. Bo is slightly off to the left, a couple yards or so, a couple meters, but obviously, fanned out a little bit as you approach this. Immediately, this teenage boy, maybe 14, obviously hasn't grown into his height, starts brandishing a sword at you, jumps up, starts brandishing the sword at you, Leeromei, and shouting at you in barbarian, and you have no idea what he's saying.
I just kind of cock my head sideways and speak in the slow, shouty tones of an entitled tourist.
Does Emilio know enough barbarian to communicate with the boy?
Yeah, with his lore master ability, he just has to pass a cunning test. He actually knows any language spoken by humans. He only has to pass a cunning test when he's trying to speak Trollish or Elvish. But per his lore master ability, you're cultivated in many things, and the only time he has to make a cunning roll is if he has to understand or speak in the Elven or Trollish tongue. He knows barbarian, and he can hear this, 14-year-old yelling at Leeromei, stay back, stay back. I will hurt you. Stay back. We've had enough of this, you Ambrian. We've had enough of this.
Me no understand.
So
Can you speak
Emilio uses.
Civilized.
So Emilio kind of steps forward and speaks in Ambrian and says, "We don't mean any harm," and asks what happened.
Yeah, so you could speak in Ambrian, Emilio, but the boy cocks his head and shakes his sword at you because he's not speaking Ambrian, he's speaking barbarian, which Emilio understands easily as much lore master. So if you speak in barbarian and say, the barbarian tongue, Leeromei hears you speak in barbarian to the boy, and I'm assuming that's what you do.
Yes, I'll try to interpret as much as I can to Leeromei.
Back
So
and
I
forth.
ask the boy what happened, and I try to reassure the boy that we're not here to kill him. I hope.
Yeah, so the boy kind of brandishes his sword at you, and then, as you're talking to him, as he jumps up to brandish the sword, obviously what is an older female kind of interposes, and, when you ask questions to speak in barbarian, she kind of puts the hand on her son and tries to get him to put down the sword, and she talks to you in barbarian. We mean no trouble, master. No trouble at all. Just others of yours, Ambrians from the south, came through and stole all our coin and all our supplies while we're just trying to make it back to our family, and now we're stuck here with our cart, and they hurt my husband badly, and now we're in danger out here by ourselves. Our cart is broken. We have this poor sword.
Well,
Aren't you glad
first,
you didn't take those pricks up on their offer? It sounds like you might have been there.
Emilio he's gonna call the others to come out from the woods and explains the situation. Tells them not to kill these people. So Emilio tries to see if he could asks the group if they could help repair the cart, and if there's anybody who could maybe help the man. And Emilio will ask the woman, can she describe the attackers? Master Emilio has his suspicions.
Yeah, Master Emilio, like if you ask her to describe it, she describes quite a number of the same men and women that you passed on the road going south to Thistle Hold earlier in the morning.
Okay, so Mr. Emilio relays all this information back to the group.
So Degoi and Katerina, Degoi and Lena are in the shadows, and they probably get even to the carts in the shadows and enter a good position. And you see, some discussion going back and forth between Master Emilio, and Master Emilio will turn to Bo and Leeromei, and interpret back and forth. And then he eventually waves at you, or waves his giant spear at you, which looks like a giant spear when he waves it. Lena and Degoi, what do you do?
Well, once it looks like it's pretty safe to come out, I'll drag Lena with me as we come out of the darkness of the woods.
Okay. Yeah, you come out from that side, you see that one of the cart wheels is mostly off the axle, not a lot. There is still some crates and, of goods in the back, under it, barbarian woven blankets and that sort of thing, but the cart wheel is a little bit off. Bo is there, and, he's close enough and probably wanders back in a little bit because he's not that far away, as Master Emilio tells him what's going on. The woman talks to Master Emilio and asks for assistance. We don't have much, Master. We don't have much, but if you could help us get our cart moving and maybe see us safely to Jakar, we would be indebted to you. We would, be able to get you things from Jakar on the way in recompense.
Well, we are going that way, so it would only make a little bit of sense. You said that one of the guys was injured.
Yeah, her husband, it finds out that he was beaten up pretty bad by the group as he tried to defend his family. The younger boy may have a little bit of a bloody nose, but his mother was able to pull him back and keep him and his sister safe. They just kind of stole all their coin, really.
Lero is restoring them to the light of Prios.
Okay. Master Emilio, the woman asks you for assistance to make sure they're safe getting to Jakar up the road. They're just bringing stores and goods back from Thistle Hold, and they had sold a bunch of it. And although they're coming back without their thaler and coin, at least they will be alive. She asks if perhaps you good folk would make sure they make it safely.
Well, it's on. We're going the same direction, so
Okay.
it doesn't seem like a problem.
So the cart isn't hard to fix. I imagine the group, together easily lift the cart, reseat the wheel on the right-hand side, and eventually the man gets up and picks up the cart. It's kind of one of those carts that you pick up on both sides with the spars on both sides, and starts trudging after, going back up north. It's going to be dark a bit, and his wife kind of yells at him, which Master Emilio can hear, and it's pretty common. and yells at him that maybe we should camp out here and in the field first, rather than entering the forest in the dark. And the man kind of shakes his head, and she looks back at the group and knows that Master Emilio is kind of translating and says, "Would that be okay, or do you need to? If we need to, we will move further into the woods before dark. But can we rest here first overnight?"
Well, Amelia kind of looks on to the others and defers this decision to them. Defers to the
Group.
more dangerous looking people in the group.
Well, that would be Leeromei, but we'll ask Bo first because he's told so many stories about himself. Bo, you kind of hear this story of fellow Ambrians taking advantage of this family and stealing all their thaler from goods they sold in Thistle Hold and kicking off the one wheel, beating up the man. It's almost dark. You could make it into the edge of the forest, but you have a couple hours of light. But they suggest perhaps we camp here. It's easier terrain. What does Bo think?
No, we'll press forward.
Leeromei.
And that's noted because we will return and try to make those other Ambrians that accosted you pay for it.
But Bo wants to just Bo says, let's go forward into the forest. Leeromei?
The quicker we get you guys to Jakar, the quicker we can seek. It's not recompense, but
Favor.
the guy told us his name, so
Yeah, you at least know one of their names.
yeah, Bordeaux or something like that.
You would feel Prios bound to pass judgment?
I mean, they're barbarians. They live in the forest away from Prios's light, but at the same time they're humans. So I should give them the opportunity to but yeah, Lyra's current obligation is greater.
Yeah, but it does sound like Father Sarvallo is getting to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're spending a lot of time in the mission, Leeromei. Degoi, Bo, and Leeromei says we should press on before dark. Get these people faster to Jakar. Degoi, do you agree?
Degoi doesn't really care about that. However, looking back down the trail, I had half a mind to like go behind the group and just like try to take them out one by one.
all 12 of them.
All 12 of them. But just for the talk that they put in. But yeah, let's move beyond. I'm fine with that, as long as the family can keep up.
Yeah. Okay. Which is majority vote. Generally, Master Emilio is deferring to the group. Bo, Degoi, and Leeromei want to press on. Lena, you're kind of outvoted, but how does that make you feel that you're going to move into the forest just before dark?
It's okay. Lena is a tough woman, and
Okay. And so that's what happens. Like you will travel a couple hours, get into deeper Davokar, and we're end the session there and pick up there on the road to Jakar. Hopefully you all had fun today. I did have fun. Any questions for me?
Oh, I had fun.
Good.
It was very enjoyable.
Thank you.
Yep. Hopefully you had fun.
Thank you all.
thank you.
Yes, fun session.
Yep. A little bit different, obviously, because we were in the city and we had some RP and get Master Emilio in and other things than yesterday. But I had a lot of fun trying to sort out which way. I have no way you're going to go. That's why I gave you kind of two routes. Karun would have been a different kind of adventure than going up the road, uh, which is fun.
So Leeromei, is that his name?
Yeah.
That he's a third with a sword.
But
He does a hell of a lot of damage.
Yes. You. Yeah. As an embryo, you'd have known like the suffix on the name, like the MEI bit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's more common among noble names. And the Leeromei looked like he fights very reminiscent of the Queen's Templars.
Ah, so that's what I thought. He's a Templar.
He's from a household of Templars, but as a changeling, he doesn't quite feel like he can maintain, or he can still call himself part of that family, because he's technically not their kid.
And Bo is the fighter. He's like a straight up fighter.
that's what it seems at the moment. As far as Master Emilio would know.
And Degoi is this like fencing fighter. A lot of fighters. That's good.
Actually, I'm a spy.
Well, you do a lot of damage too, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this character, the icon, it pretty much represents the way he is.
I think the icon is great.
Yeah, it's hilarious, and it's going to be good to have some smart people. Look, what is amusing is Emilio's got a higher strong than Leero. Like, I wasn't joking about glass cannon. Leero's strong is only 7. So
Master Emilio is lore master at such a high level. He would glean a lot of this, like watching Leeromei fight, knowing he's wearing priest robes, but then understanding he's a changeling. He would understand the social implications of being a changeling and the ostracification of it. I don't know if he would necessarily see Leeromei as noble or from a noble house, but he may begin to understand that part because his lore master is at that degree. The other characters here learn as he goes, but perhaps as he watched Leeromei fight, knowing he's in robes, but he has a sword and he's a changeling, he would maybe start to piece that together a little bit.
Yeah, I think Emilio is gonna need to improve his melee skills somehow.
Why? He's got all these people around him. He's got to make sure he stays in the middle.
I don't know. I have nightmares from Forbidden Land.
That's why I kept asking you, where are you going, Master Emilio? I will probably ask you that every time. Where is your positioning? He just has to be stepping in the right direction. He can see that Leeromei has this kind of action. He can see Degoi's riposte kind of action. He probably saw, maybe. He knows Lena's fantastic with a bow, even if she missed in the darkness. And, Bo is crazy and thinks a lot of himself. He just got, at some point, I think he's going to he might learn some from him. So maybe that's how he gets those melee actions. I do like, I did like when you kind of made that scream and yell with your spear and entered combat. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah,
it was really funny.
This group is pretty different from the Thursday group, so I think that's pretty cool.